Boy, oh boy, do I have some good news for you today. It's time for a little holly jolly celebration because Santa Claus came early with the gifts. This loser has finally been arrested. Now, I'm sure none of you recognize this guy. This is probably not a face any of you have seen unless you're a woman in New York, and in that case, this is probably a face that you swiped left on Tinder for. But this is the face of the man known as Squeezebinz, the infamous street racer who's blown up on Instagram and YouTube over the last few months. This isn't like a really stunning revelation, he just looks like a normal asshole. It's not like some kind of big twist like it's Bruce Wayne behind the Batman mask or anything. But I actually recently talked about Squeeze because he went on Neon's stream and did his street racing stunt maneuvers and ended up getting in a hit and run live on Kick. So of course I was making fun of him and tossing tomatoes, shouting boo. I think it is so incredibly lame to do the kind of shit that Squeezebinz was, where he'd just go out on public roads and put everyone's lives in danger around him, just driving fast and recklessly for his content. And this is a criminal who is addicted to attention, which has to be the worst combination for a human being ever. If you are a criminal, the last thing that you would want is a lot of eyes on you. But this guy, Jiminy Christmas, he was absorbing it like a sponge in a sink. This guy was more addicted to attention than a heroin addict is to the needle. This guy couldn't get enough of it, so he took every opportunity imaginable to promote himself. So this was always inevitable. He was either going to get arrested or get himself or someone else killed. Luckily, he was arrested before the second thing happened. Now, before really diving into the weeds of the arrest here and everything around it, I want to show you a little bit more of the lore to Squeeze, so you can get a big taste of the cringe that is Squeezebinz.
You mix danger, but there's also other people at risk when you do that. Innocent civilians. So what do you think about the element of danger for that?
I've been doing this since, like, real shit, since I was 9. I used to take my dad's car out, and I used to just bug out. I've been doing this for so long now that I feel like I did have some professional.
This guy must have found a moron potion at some point in his life, and he has not been able to break the curse. The effects still linger. He did an interview with Tommy G, a very popular video, over 8 million views here, where he's revealing some, like, pretty sensitive information, really, all while acknowledging that he's one of the most wanted people in the area by the authorities. How stupid can you be? He's going on a press tour here to promote himself, while actively engaging in illegal activity and putting himself in as many places as possible, giving authorities all the evidence they could ever require. He also has the gall to call himself a professional. He is a talented driver, no doubt, but the only thing he's a professional at is not dying. That's it. He's going out there and gambling with everyone's lives and his own, and nothing beyond that. He's not a professional at anything, he's just currently surviving. Is all.
That's how I drive. There's been incidents where I've gone out with people and they try keeping up with me and they've crashed.
How fast do you go?
I mean, there's been a video online where I've gone one-handed 210 miles an hour.
Filming with one hand, driving with the other, 210 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's insane. Did that scare you?
Not really, just to build up a tolerance of just speed.
Do you feel like the police watch your Instagram?
100%, they do.
Let's pop in the
100% they do, which is why I'm doing all of these interviews to help them in their pursuit. It reminds me of this classic story where the police put out a post on Facebook asking for information about a woman who was an accessory to a murder, and the woman they were looking for actually commented on the post asking about the reward money that was being offered, and so they were able to find her because of that. Squeeze and that lady are two sides of the same coin. Just pure degenerate dummy. Anyway, though, he's finally been arrested after an incident that happened back in April where Squeeze allegedly made an illegal turn and proceeded to elude the police at high speeds. Then officers found videos of him committing various traffic violations throughout the tri-state area. Apparently the NYPD did a little fusion dance and a fist bump with another department, and they worked together and found Squeeze because he was wanted on other charges including burglary, theft, conspiracy, and more. I was reading a couple of other reports where he allegedly punched a 20-year-old man in a deli. So I'm not exactly sure what all went down there, but ultimately it ended with him getting arrested and the NYPD commissioner taking a victory lap here and dunking on him on Twitter by saying Squeezebinz is in custody thanks to New York's finest. And then he posted a picture of his Instagram with the word apprehended slapped across it there, as if it's some kind of, like, busted thing in Grand Theft Auto. So Antonio going from Squeezebinz to Squeezeminz here, being shoulder to shoulder squeezed into a cell with other dudes, hopefully. But there's no telling if he's actually going to face real prison time. It seems he's been released because after all of this, he did make an Instagram post about how he can't go live on there. So then he made a Twitch account, which I can't find. I do see a Squeeze Bins account there, but there's nothing on it, and I think that's just an impersonator trying to capitalize off of this. His original Instagram account appears to be banned, and the only one I can find is another one that appears to be an impersonator, but maybe it really is him. I have no fucking clue. I also can't help but giggle that he decided to make a Twitch account instead of a Kick account. Like, not even this blatant criminal who has already broadcast crimes on Kick wants to make an account over there and stream on purpose. He still decided to go to Twitch first and foremost. That's kind of crazy to me because Kick is the home of broadcasting illegal activity. They don't do shit about it there. They give you like a subtle thumbs up because it's driving more traffic to their site. That should be home turf for Antonio here. Squeeze Bins would be hoisted on their shoulders like a golden goose. And yet he still said, ew, I'll just go to Twitch instead. That boggles my mind a little bit. I did laugh when I read that he made a Twitch account. I wish they'd make an example out of him here. He's not like the only one doing this kind of content, the lone alpha wolf or anything here. This is a pretty popular niche of content online where people just put on a helmet or wear some kind of mask and then just commit crimes. And like, taunt authorities driving around recklessly, endangering a bunch of innocent people's lives on the road for content and views on Instagram and YouTube and shit. He is far from the only one doing this. So I think if they would actually give a fuck here and pursue real serious charges and actual repercussions for his actions, it could help to dissuade others from pursuing this. At least I would hope. I would really like them to not play softball here and actually do something about this. He has been caught. Hand in the cookie jar here. He has all of this evidence that he himself has compiled about his crimes and how he's not remorseful and will always continue to do it, most likely. Why the fuck would you just give him a slap on the wrist? It's also more than the dangerous driving. He apparently beats people in delis, at least according to some of the reports here. Like, this is not someone that they should just be playing like patty cake with here and saying, hey, don't do it again. All right, now get out of here. Come on, scram. Like, this is something that they should be taking far, far more seriously. I really hope that his release is a temporary thing as they build up a meteor case against him, so that way he'll actually get thrown in the slammer. There's just no excuse for it at all. Just going onto public roads and compromising everyone's safety for your content, I just think it truly super sucks. And I think the fans of this kind of content are extraordinarily annoying. So there are still like Squeeze Bins enthusiasts that are losing sleep over this, thinking that he's done nothing wrong. Nobody got hurt, even though in his interview with Tommy G, he says that people have tried to emulate him and they have crashed. So people have literally gotten hurt. He also did get involved in a hit and run on stream, but whatever, I suppose. Just go ahead and ignore reality here and continue to live in fucking delusional Narnia land. But, you know, hey, they're Squeeze Bins guys. Of course they wear diapers and eat glue. Is what it is, I guess, but I'm just super happy that he's finally been arrested, and I can only hope that they do throw the book at him. So yeah, anyway, that's really about it. So yeah. I'll be honest, I don't usually cover topics like what I'm about to touch on today, because it's extremely serious. Usually the stuff I cover is things to point and laugh at, throw tomatoes at, say boo, stinky, yucky, boo. Not this. This is horrifying. It's a story I haven't seen a ton of people mention, and I myself didn't know about it until a few nights ago, where just some random chatter during stream mentioned it, and I looked it up, and the information was only a few minutes old. Like, I don't even know how that guy had access to it so quickly, unless he's like one of the chief investigators on the case that just typed it in the chat. But when I looked it up there wasn't a ton of specifics mentioned about the case, but I followed it over the last few days as more and more information has come to the public eye. It is truly evil. And to my knowledge, this is the first case where a live stream was used as an alibi in a murder case or anything of that magnitude. There of course has been cases like with Facebook live streams and even YouTube a couple times where horrible atrocities were committed live, but I think this is the only time that someone has tried to use a live stream to prove their innocence and act as a smokescreen to cover up their crimes. Now, the person I'm about to talk about hasn't been found guilty yet, but they have been charged with murder with overwhelming evidence. Extremely compelling and strong evidence. On December 18th in Ireland, a woman named Natalie McNally was stabbed to death in her own home. She was 15 weeks pregnant at the time of her death. And the person accused of the murder is a man named Stephen McCullough. He is a YouTuber as well as streamer. He mainly focused on toy reviews as far as I can tell, specifically seeming to be a big Doctor Who toy reviewer. So what happened is, on the night of Natalie McNally's murder, Stephen McCullough went live on his channel. And this live stream is still up right now. It's a 6-hour live stream. And this was crucial evidence to prove his innocence on this evening. Because how could McCullough have possibly killed someone when there's proof of him streaming from his home at the same time that the murder had taken place? So they eventually, after bringing him in initially on suspicion of being involved in this case, let him go. Because this live stream did serve as a pretty good alibi for him. Plus, this wasn't just streamed to 0 viewers, there were real sentient human beings with a pulse there to watch this stream, so should any of this information ever come to light, there would be a lot of witnesses saying, no, I was watching him stream, he was 100% at home. So that was his whole plan. And while this worked for a brief period of time getting him out of suspicion, it was an ephemeral victory because after the investigators combed through about 4,000 hours worth of CCTV footage, they kind of pinned his whole location. They got his whole itinerary here. They were able to track him around and follow him around like it was a fucking Sims character. So not only did they see him through the CCTV evidence, but they also have the account of the taxi driver. They even took notice of things like a yellow glove underneath a black glove while giving change to a bus driver. And with all of this, they had a really strong case against him being the murderer. But they still had that live stream to explain. Because again, there is a live stream that did span the entire course where all of this took place. So how the fuck does this happen? You know, is he David Copperfield? Like, what, 2 places at once? Is this some kind of prestige situation where he had like a twin or a clone of himself? The actual answer is it's far simpler than you would possibly ever think. The live stream was fake. Yes, the stream went live on his channel during this whole period of time, but it wasn't actually a live stream. It was a pre-recorded video that Stephen McCullough had recorded days prior in order to look like a live stream, to mimic a live stream, so that way it could be used as an alibi for him. And when you watch the live stream, which again is still up on his channel, there are so many alarming red flag moments throughout it, even from the get-go. So he mentions at the very beginning of this live stream that he's not going to be able to read chat for a variety of technical reasons. One of them being it would crash his computer, it'd freeze the computer, it'd ruin the whole stream because of all of these deep tech problems that he couldn't solve. Everything's gone cattywampus, so he won't be able to read your chat. More like, Doctor, who's talking? Because I can't see you, I'm not reading chat. He just keeps reiterating over and over and over again that there's going to be no chat interaction. Because obviously, since this is a pre-recorded thing, there is no chat for him to read or interact with.
Well, because this streaming software is kind of up the left, it means I can't check the live chat, which is a real shame. Can't look at the live chat for some bloody reason, because if I do, it makes the whole thing freeze and OBS just screws up.
And he just kept like explaining why he can't read chat, and then he started talking about like, well, I guess I could read it on my phone, but you know, I get addicted to TikTok when I'm on my phone, and that's a mess, so I've put my phone in timeout in another room, so I won't be reading chats there either, and that'd probably ruin my internet too anyway, so no chat tonight. You guys can talk amongst yourself. I don't even like live streamers who read chat, so no chat for me tonight. There's plenty of streamers who don't interact with chat, but to go this long and this in-depth on things that make absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever to explain why you're not going to be reading chat or reacting to donations is definitely a little odd. And there's plenty of other really alarming moments about this stream, especially looking back on it in hindsight. He keeps reiterating that he's live, you know, this is live, and he's staying inside all night. He talks about like drinking and driving, and he'd never drink and drive, which is why he's staying inside, drinking on stream live for his viewers to enjoy. He's playing GTA Vice City throughout the stream, and he's making comments about like how the police force is no longer like equipped to handle cases, and there's a rise in crime. It's in the real world he's talking about. It's all very fucking alarming stuff, but by far the scariest thing he says has to be this.
Yeah, that's physics. That's what would happen in the real world. Abso-fucking-notly. Abso-fucking-notly.
Completely out of nowhere, unprompted, he mentions someone named Natalie in a pretty menacing way. And once again, there's plenty of other things he says in here that are very scary, but I think this one is by far the worst moment. This has been 100% confirmed beyond a shadow of a doubt to be a fake live stream. When authorities seized some possessions, they found the actual video itself and concluded that it was filmed on December 13th or 14th. And also, McCullough himself has confirmed that the live stream was not actually live, it was pre-recorded, but insists that he was actually just drinking by himself alone that night. He completely denies the murder and insists that someone else may have been dropped off in a taxi near his home. This is referring to the CCTV evidence that they've gathered, pinpointing all of his locations throughout the evening. There's also other awful shit here as well. McCullough stayed pretty close to Natalie McNally's parents, and in one case even left his phone over at their house in order to like bug them and secretly spy on them to record their conversations to see if he was a suspect. So McCullough went to the McNally house, left his phone on record, and left, but returned 40 minutes later claiming to have forgotten it, and police were saying that this was an attempt to listen into their conversations to see if they suspected him of anything in this. I can't envision a world where Stephen McCullough is not the person who committed this crime. There is just an overwhelming amount of evidence against him. And he still doesn't have a real explanation for what the possible motive to faking the live stream would even be. Nothing that makes sense, at least. And then randomly dropping Natalie's name during it. I just cannot imagine that this man is innocent, but he hasn't been found fully guilty of being the murderer yet. But yeah, overall, a horrifying situation. I'm wishing the absolute best for the McNally family, and I'm hoping justice is served here. That's about it. So yeah. I don't like Ticketmaster. You all know that. By extension, Live Nation, because Live Nation owns Ticketmaster. It's a huge, messy web that I've clowned on and insulted numerous times now. And I feel like everyone probably shares that same sentiment. I believe in every human being's soul there is a spot reserved purely for their hatred of Ticketmaster to reside. I'm sure everyone has their own experiences and horror stories here. It is just an absolute dogshit business model that is becoming worse and worse all the time. And it's run by this! Bear witness! Worm person! This is Michael Rapino, more like Michael Rapinor, because this man is just a giant fucking wiener. He is the CEO of Live Nation, Ticketmaster, and recently, this is why I'm making this video, he went on to say, he had the goal to claim ticket prices are actually underpriced.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think music has been underappreciated. You know, I always joke, sports, it's like a badge of honor to spend 70 grand for a Knicks courtside. They beat me up if we charge 800 for Beyonce, right? You know, so it's a real, it's a very we have a lot of runway left, right? So when you read about the ticket prices going up, it's still, average concert price is $72. Try going to a Laker game for that, and there's 80 of them or whatever the hell. So the concert is underpriced, has been for a long time.
If that isn't the biggest load of fish paste, what in tarnation, brother? Holy moly. There's so much to insult with this statement, like I don't even know where to begin. If you have been to any concerts or shows over the last, let's say, 10 years, you've probably noticed a trend where it's getting more and more and more and more expensive. The biggest complaint you will see anytime there is a concert is people talking about how they're priced out from attending it. Even the biggest fans can oftentimes not afford to go to it, or maybe they can only get like the nosebleeds or something, which isn't usually even worth the price you'd pay for that, because also that is often expensive too. And they get away with this because they have fundamentally a monopoly when it comes to live performances, live shows like this. And there's always the huge issue with scalping, which almost seems encouraged by Ticketmaster, at least historically it used to. I don't know if it's as bad as it once was. I haven't noticed it to the degree I did a few years ago, so maybe they started to fucking put the nipple clamps on it and twist to try and stop that a bit. But since they do still have this monopoly, they still have, of course, like fees and also just an exorbitant price tag on attending these shows. Because they can. You don't have like an alternative to get the tickets or anything. And I hate that comparison he makes where he's like, oh yeah, some people will pay like 70 grand as like a badge of honor to sit courtside. comparing it to like a big sporting event where people shell out tons of clams. Brother, you just blow in from Stupid Town. How in any way, shape, or form does that even remotely associate with these prices for a concert? It's so night and day, I don't even think it's worth digging into like the actual meat and potatoes of the statement. It's just a false equivalence. And he tries to use it as a way to justify that there is still so much room to charge more for their tickets. And I think that is just sickening. So I've been to 2 shows recently. I went to a Deftones concert a couple months ago. Unfortunately, I did somewhat brown my trousers a bit there. There was a couple tiddlywinks of fecal matter, which I made a video talking about it. It was pretty embarrassing, pretty shameful. Fucking shit myself a little bit as a 30-year-old man. Not that I blame Michael Rapino for that. I know he didn't put poop in my butt. That's on me. That was my responsibility. Like, I get it. But anyway, I'm getting a little sidetracked. I'm starting to, like, pseudo-trauma dump on you here for no reason. Deftones concert was amazing. And then recently I saw a My Chemical Romance show here in Tampa. Also amazing. But you know what both of these had in common besides being extremely entertaining? Extremely expensive. And Ticketmaster gets to basically charge the moon for it if they want to. And they do want to, make no mistake. And it looks like they want to charge even more for it. They want the fucking whole kit and caboodle here. They want your entire piggy bank just to see your favorite artist perform once. And I understand concerts aren't like a necessity. No one needs to buy tickets to a concert. But you can see this trend that when Ticketmaster Live Nation kind of took over and got this like monopoly, they have been jacking up prices non-stop. And it's just spiraling out of control where it prices out tons and tons of normal people that no longer can afford to go see their favorite artist perform because they'd have to decide between spending the money for a couple of tickets to that event or like, you could also just spend that money on, like, a fucking week-long vacation in a lot of cases because it is that fucking expensive. So it's just, I also think it's bad for the artist, too, because then you're not performing to as many occupied seats. You're not performing to as many actual fans anymore. Like, I just think the whole model sucks now. And you can see a huge change when Ticketmaster Live Nation took over. Tickets were far more affordable, and I get everything's gotten more expensive. I understand that. But in this sector specifically, this monopoly has been extremely awful for fans and artists as well. It is only good for Ticketmaster. And the CEO's out here like, well, actually, it's like super reasonably priced. In fact, it is underpriced. I need to be making more money. Meanwhile, last year he took home like I think it was like $32 million, like himself in total compensation. Like, I wonder why he thinks it's underpriced and why they should be charging more. What's the incentive there? Man, that's so interesting. I wonder why he would have that perspective. Any sensible, sane person will tell you the same thing. Ticket prices suck. And Ticketmaster super fucking sucks. So I definitely don't agree with Michael Rapino's assessment here that there's a lot of runway for more ticket price increases. He says that people beat him up for charging $800 to Beyonce. Well, what he doesn't mention there is that $800 to see Beyonce is to see her through like a fucking glory hole on like the 39th floor of the stadium she performs at. Like, you do not get good value even when you do spend a lot of money going to these concerts because everything is so fucking expensive. So I think his take on this is complete trash. Complete trash. But he does say something during this event that I think is an important thing to mention in regards to how important shows are to the artists.
Well, you know, the live show is, the artist is going to make 98% of their money from the show. The record label, all the other ways they made money is irrelevant now. The show is where they're making their money.
Now, in this section, he is actually correct. He did pin the tail on the donkey here. Record labels take the lion's share of what an artist makes, or what a band, group, whatever makes. I have heard some, what I believe to be, or should be, criminal contracts in the record industry where they will take sometimes like 90% of like streaming revenue, record sales, merch sales, that kind of thing, and thus the band needs to survive off just tours alone because that's where they make their actual money. The record label makes the rest through them on other things. They only see like a small percentage of it. It's fucking terrible. The music industry itself is so unbelievably corrupt. Ticketmaster is just a small component of that. But he is right. The actual shows, that is the most important part to the money that an artist brings in, which I believe is also contributing to the increase in ticket prices. Not always solely Ticketmaster, but there are cases where groups or artists have knowingly increased their prices as well, and like even agreed to like the surge pricing type shit, the like dynamic pricing model, because streaming revenue, record sales, merch sales, all of that stuff, the record label has got its filthy fucking paws in a big way. Thus, they need the tours to, you know, bring in their actual chunk of change. Like, again, the system itself in the music industry is super fucked. Also, streaming revenue is not a ton for music. I feel like most of you have probably heard artists talking about how much like a song of theirs makes through like Spotify or something. And it's not overly incredible from the numbers I've been made aware of. And I guess from my own personal experience, I'm in a band, The Gentlemen. We are working on more music. Across our 2 albums, we maybe have like 100 million streams across all the songs. And we even did do like physical sales. And in total, I believe what we've brought in over the last 6 years is like 120, 140K, somewhere in that general ballpark. So you divide that between 2 people over the course of 6 years, it's not, you know, the biggest bag of money you'll ever see in your life. You know, you're not talking Scrooge McDuck levels of wealth coming from like music streaming sales. At least not until you're in, like, the, I guess, hundreds of millions, as opposed to just, like, the 100 million club. Again, I can only speak from my own personal experience and at least the other numbers I've become aware of and what artists have made from those. And we've never toured or anything. If we did, that would probably be where the bulk of the money would come from, because there's not a ton of people buying physical albums anymore. And streaming revenue through listening, through, like, just song streams, isn't, like, incredible per stream either. So he is right that these shows, these events, are extremely important for, like, the artist making their money. But his view of it is so distorted, where he thinks that because this is, like, the main revenue driver for a lot of artists, they need to be charging an arm and a leg for it, where it, like, prices out tons of people, too. Like, it's very counterintuitive. There is no need for the prices to go as fucking Insano style as they have because of Ticketmaster's involvement. It's just completely unacceptable, and it is just point-blank way too expensive. Ask anyone who's gone to a concert recently. It is just too expensive. And he is just entirely wrong by saying that it's underpriced. It's not. I really think the Live Nation Ticketmaster merger was just the worst fucking thing that happened to, like, live shows in general. That should have been slapped down. And the fact that that was allowed to go through has just been disastrous. I can't fucking stand Michael Rapino. I hate Ticketmaster. Shit sucks. Just wanted to yap about it a little bit because somehow he felt so confident to just let this absolute trash take fly like that about being underpriced. Anyway, that's about it. See ya. There's so many things in this world that can make you frown. Undercooked meat, getting a porta potty tipped over on you while you're inside, just to name a couple. I want to give you something that can make you smile. One of those public nuisance streamers whose whole existence revolves around making everyone's lives around them worse as their content has just been arrested. 2023 has actually been a pretty solid year for streamers everyone hates getting thrown in the slammer, finally facing some real repercussions for their awful behavior and unbelievable cringe, such as the streamer Johnny Somali, who is still currently in jail in Japan right now, God bless. Now, I haven't seen a follow-up to the individual we're going to talk about right now, so I'm going to delve into fantasy like it's the fucking Magic Treehouse here. In my little headcanon fanfic, he is currently sitting in his prison cell blubbering his little eyes out like a bitch. And this clip actually makes me extremely happy. It reminds me that Christmas is right around the corner because it gets me in a joyful spirit. And just as old Saint Nicholas taught us, it's better to give than to receive. So I wanted to give you all the gift of a big ear-to-ear grin as we watch this insufferable asshole get arrested, but also what led up to it.
Hey, listen up. You look so cute and you look so delectable. I want to put you on a plate and just eat you up. How about that? What's your name, baby? I know you're sorry. You're sorry you can't get with a hunk like me. You're sorry you're stuck with a cuck that you fucking cheat on. You record videos of you sucking off other guys, and he wants to see that shit. Correct me if I'm wrong.
This guy's voice sounds like someone doing an impression of a Redditor. He's got that quintessential nasally loser voice, and clearly he knows he's not actually going to end up getting this girl's number or anything like that. He's being as abrasive as possible because it's content for his stream to entertain them by just going up and harassing women as much as possible. Admittedly, this guy is also self-aware enough to recognize that he is a creep, but instead of doing anything to fix that and better himself, he's more than happy to lean into it as much as possible to become the ultimate creep. He has adopted it as his only personality trait, being a loveless, sexless loser, and tries to make a career out of it. He is actually striving to be a professional dumpster for everyone in the chat to spit in and laugh at. It is pathetic. Dude's out here more dripless than I am, by the way. He's out here rocking a yellow t-shirt, bright yellow, looking like Curious George's friend, the man in the yellow jacket. Goober's also got some of the worst posture I've ever seen in public. He's more hunched over than that iconic photo of Goatman in the forest. So I already know when he's not out in public harassing people for his stream, he's inside on the computer doom-scrolling the internet, rotting and withering away. Now, of course, I'm not usually one to criticize posture, because sometimes when I'm streaming, I get fucking hunched over and right up against the monitor too. But at least when I'm out in public, I'm self-aware enough to recognize that you gotta straighten that shit up.
And that happens regularly, right? Tell me I'm right on the money or not. Tell me, okay, listen up, baby. I'm so sorry. You know, I really tried. God damn you. Her booty's so small. Fuck.
It's so cute how he also has a friend with him that's doing the same thing, but from a distance, kind of whispering it to stream, just insulting the girl for the audience. What an unbelievable power couple of fucking douchebags.
I don't want to bother you guys, I'm not trying to be creepy in any way, but can I get like one of your numbers and I'll be on my way and then we can meet up?
We're actually going to go meet our boyfriends right now. So.
Oh, so I can't take you out or do anything like that?
Yes, really quick, just stop right now.
Sorry.
Doesn't matter what you want. Do you want?
We're just, here's what we're wondering.
I'm sorry.
You're just so fucking hot.
That second encounter right there is nightmarish. This girl's walking on the street alone. Two weirdos come up to her and say, "It doesn't matter what you want." And you can see her facial expression drop, just completely sink into a panic mode. I have no doubt she expected to be attacked by them or something, and you can see she picked up the pace. Because who wouldn't? That's a fucking weird thing to have happen. That's frightening. And especially from these two guys who are just walking around, camera out, coming up to you in the middle of the night. Like, what the fuck? This whole shtick sucks. It's just going up and bothering people who are just going about their night. Just randomly coming up to women. Hey, pardon me, toots. Unsucked penis is a disease and I'm suffering from it. Are you the cure? You should be. It's fucking dumb. And it's a lot worse than that. It's worse than just going up and doing cringy lines. It's sticking around, bothering people, and in this case, scaring a woman who's walking home alone.
Want to be my girlfriend for 5 minutes? Do you want to just go on a little date?
We're going to walk for a bit.
Okay.
Just a pinky.
Okay.
You can hold my hand.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
So,
hey, I'm here with my girlfriend. I'm here with my girl. Can you guys just shut the fuck up? I'm here with my girlfriend.
Okay,
just shut the fuck up.
People.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm here with my girlfriend. You're making too much noise. Get the fuck out of here, asshole. Fucking prick. I'm so sorry, Luna.
No,
please. No, I was just protecting you.
No,
I was protecting you, baby. Please.
Ha ha, you get it? The joke is he's just pretending to be an unhinged lunatic. I don't know why you couldn't understand the gut-busting comedy of that. I'm gonna toss a quick fun fact your way, so get ready to receive it. About a month ago, I made a video going over shitty streamers like this guy and his friend, and I'm almost 100% certain that this is the same guy that ran away when someone he was harassing finally took him up on the offer to fight. He was the guy that instigated a conflict, and then the guy he was doing it to said, "Alright, let's just settle it right now." And immediately this guy bolted off. I'm being very generous with that term, bolted in the same way that an alcoholic zombie would stumble across the street, because this guy is not athletic at all. But he ran away as quickly as his goofy little legs could take him, and then had this brief come-to-Jesus moment where he recognized just how sad and pathetic he is. Just this impressive specimen of trash.
Alright, you and me, Central Park, tomorrow. Don't be late, motherfucker.
Alright. I hope he doesn't chase me because I don't want to fight him.
Am I a pussy beta? Perhaps. But I don't know.
Using all the latest and greatest in technology and summoning the world's leading forensic experts to analyze the footage here, I think we can all conclude with a high level of confidence that this guy and the guy that I've been showing you who's about to get arrested here on stream are the same person. There's just no way that this world is forsaken enough to allow two people that sound, look, and act like him and stream like him to exist at the same time. I just don't believe that. It's the same person. I'm pretty sure of it.
You love it.
You know that there's like a...
Excuse me, what's going on? What's going on?
Relax.
Put your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind your back.
What's going on?
You're being placed under arrest.
For what?
I'll tell you in a minute. Yeah. You just want to talk to you, you want to run. All right, now we're going to put you on your side.
So they're arresting Carl, guys? Carl did nothing wrong?
Ah, yes, the good ending. Tugs on your heartstrings. It's a beautiful thing to witness. You love to see that. I can't imagine a more fitting conclusion here. I don't know why his buddy's saying he did nothing wrong. He immediately tried to run from the cops who were about to start talking to him. You can't do that. Like, what the fuck? I imagine they got called there for a disturbance, like, hey, there's this weirdo and his weirdo friend that keep harassing everyone nearby, so the cops are coming to tell him to, like, cut that shit out. And then Chief Goofball here immediately tries to run. Well, it's not really a run. This guy and run don't really go in the same sentence. He takes, like, two fee-fi-fo-fum steps that kind of resemble, like, speedier movement, and the cops are like, nah, putting the kibosh on this, and they just tackle him, they take him down, and then stand him back up. So, again, I don't know what the update is. I don't know if he's still in custody or what, or if there's any charges. I couldn't tell you. It just makes me happy to see that. It's just a big ol' asshole getting taken off the streets there, so I thought that might put a smile on some of your faces. That's about it. So, yep. Hey, it's that magical time again where we get to point, laugh, and shoot spitballs at a creepy degenerate being weird to a woman. So I hope you've done all of your smile exercises, because we're gonna be putting a big ol' grin on that face and having a hoot and a holler at this guy's expense.
So, crazy silly question, but I'm just curious. I know you don't like coffee, and I know you don't, and I know you eat cereal in the evening.
Yeah.
And I know you have a son, right?
Yeah.
And I know you're about early 30s.
So Goober approaches this woman who's on the leg press machine, and he immediately just starts listing off things he knows about her, which just sounds like some stalker shit. Like, it sounds like a mission out of Hitman, where Agent 47's being given a dossier and going over his target's interests and, like, where they might be so they can plan out the assassination. This is just, like, such a creepy, cold open here. I know I'm reading way too deep into this situation and it's starting to get dangerously delusional, but for some reason when I first saw this clip, it immediately reminded me of a climactic moment in an action movie when the villain is monologuing to the hero like a fucking phone call. I know you don't like coffee. I know you're in your early 30s. I know the FBI is listening to this call right now. I know you have a son. His name is Mark. He attends Biff Gilmore High. Do this task for me. And all the agents listening to this, stay out of it. And nothing has to happen to Mark. It's just a really odd, peculiar play here. This is definitely not a play that John Madden would draw up. To just approach her and start listing off all the things you know about her, it's just weird. I'm assuming she and him have talked before, which is why he knows all this. They probably have, like, small talk. They're probably on friendly terms. I don't think he's been, like, perusing her Facebook trying to digest all of the lore that she publicly posts about herself there. But it's still weird to then come up and just start, like, spouting it all back to her about everything you know.
That's what I've learned so far. Yeah. You know, I don't know. I think you're really cool. I know you have a son. I'll tell you, you know, straight up, like, I kind of sort of married, like, I kind of sort of like I am.
You know how everything has an opposite? Wet, dry, light, dark, matter, antimatter? This guy is anti-charisma. He is the exact opposite of Riz. Like, this dude legitimately has less game than someone that is asleep. He is stumbling through whatever he was cooking up in his noodle here, and it is extraordinarily uncomfortable to listen to. It's like the first draft of a book report where there's still a ton of typos and grammatical mistakes and nothing's making sense, it's all scatterbrained. That's what's happening through this whole exchange. And yet he still is able to squeak out that bombshell there that he's actually married while actively hitting on this woman. And you can see the shock and surprise on her face to learn that little nugget of information about this guy. If I had to speculate a guess, I would imagine he's been flirtatious in the past, which is why she's even more surprised by it. So he's just a big scumbag piece of shit here for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's something about you that's really cool. Like just casual, but I don't know if you would have a pizza with me sometime or something.
I'm pretty sure your wife is not a pretty.
Good golly, heavens to Betsy, this guy fucking sucks at talking to women. He is speaking to her like he is still in middle school. He just keeps repeating, I think you're cool, I think you're really cool. Like, I half expected him to just go even harder on that, like, I actually think you're epic. Do you want to come over and see my Fortnite, KD? And then we can grab a pizza. Like, there's nothing wrong with a pizza date, I want to be clear there. But it's just this combination of, you're so cool, 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 let's get pizza. Like, that's what I imagine a 12-year-old thinks romance is like. You're cool, get pizza with me, I'll have my mom order Papa John's. Like, what the fuck? It sounds like he's about to bring up cooties. Like, I don't even care if you have cooties, it's okay. Like, he sounds like a fucking child talking to her through text messages. Like, circle yes if you like me, if you like me. Oh, it's so bad. Honestly, this might be inspirational for someone out there. It doesn't matter how awkward or uncomfortable you are, you could still find a partner. Somehow this guy has a wife. Somehow this complete fucking turbo loser has a wife. And now he's trying to cheat on her. So don't be like this guy, but at least let this be known that you don't have to be the most charismatic person out there or be the most socially adept at speaking to other people to find a partner. So maybe there's a little positive spin there. But anyway, back to spitting and shitting on this goofball. The lady here is being extremely sweet about this whole thing as opposed to just splashing the cold water on him and saying, get the fuck away from me. She is tiptoeing around this, probably because she doesn't want to make a scene out of it. Most women usually try and let someone down in a nice way, because if they don't, it could get dangerous. Like, there's no telling how unhinged this guy is. He's trying to fucking cheat on his wife and he's being brutally honest about it. He is a weirdo. So it's definitely the smart call to just be like, oh, I don't think your wife would approve of us getting pizza or going to play laser tag or whatever other childish fucking offer you were about to make. Like, her being nice about it is the optimal move, but it also keeps her wrapped up in this conversation, unfortunately. So I feel so fucking bad for her because he continues to press. And he's already interrupted her workout, so I imagine it's just this giant fucking headache, this huge annoyance because this uncomfortable miasma of cringe has approached her and won't leave. Like the storm just will not pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Glad you're up front, but yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Especially
Yeah,
when
exactly.
you're married, then, like,
Right, no. That's why I said.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to be. Yeah, but, I won't say unfortunately, because, being married's good. But sometimes sometimes you meet somebody that just, you haven't.
Bingo. Peekaboo, I see you. I was so curious what this guy looked like. I was freeze framing on every single goddamn pixel of this thing, trying to catch just a glimpse of him here to finally get this Bigfoot photo with him peeking in the top right there. I always get so curious in situations like this. What does the person look like who's conducting themselves this way? I know it's not important, but for me, a mystery like this sometimes just needs a little bit of closure. Anyway, he continues with his speech. I don't want to say unfortunately, because being married's great. I love it. But sometimes need something with a little bit more of a connection. A man like me can't be hunkered down to just one woman. You know what's better than one pussy? My wife's? Your pussy. That's 2 vaginas. Double the fun. What say you to that? Come get a pizza with me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, but yeah, like it's my connection wouldn't be your connection. I'm married.
Hopefully does lose faith in men and humanity, right? Like, it makes us scared women to like ever want to get married because we don't know if our husbands are out at the gym doing that either.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I don't blame you. I'm mad at you. At least you're honest, but like.
He's going into full car salesman pitch mode right now with the hard sell. My connection's your connection. Buy 2, get 2 free. Come on now. What are you waiting for? The deal's depreciating. Come on. It's, what are you doing? And she is doing her absolute best to be nice here. She is doing everything she can to be, like, sweet in this situation to try and, like, just get through this as pain-free as possible so she can go back to working out, which is what she went there to do. Like, oh my god, it's so fucking rough, and the guy just keeps going.
No, sure. Well, no, I mean, I wouldn't, like, have not told you, you know. Yeah. Up to this point, I just kind of said hi and let it off, and that's it. You know, and, yeah. And I was, you know, I was like, thinking, really, when you think about it, it's unfair even to, like, you also. So, well, what the hell? What's the point?
The way he just blabbers on and gets all jumbled up on each word reminds me of that viral meme of that kid who was doing a line reading but accidentally messed it up. Have you ever had a dream where you could, and you never want, but you could, and you never, but do it so bad? Like that? That is his entire statement to this woman here. Just a bunch of gobbledygook.
I mean, probably the best scenario is, and I'm not saying this would ever happen, but like seriously, if you knew my wife and you know what I mean, like we were all friends, that's different. Yeah. But and you actually would like her. She's very nice. Yeah. You'll probably meet her sometime. Actually, you know, she hasn't been, but she does come sometimes. So when we're here and I see you, I'll introduce you.
That's where our adventure ends. And man, what a journey it was, huh? I don't know where to begin with that closing statement. If only you knew my wife and we were all friends, that's different. You'll probably meet my wife at some point. You'll fucking love her. I mean, she's great. You'll love her. In fact, my wife would actually love if I cheated on her with you, and that can happen after you meet her. You know, I'll just introduce you next time that she's here. And we can talk about how I was trying to cheat on her by taking you on dates. And I think we'll all have a good laugh about it. We'll all become great friends, and then it's all smooth sailing. Just a fucking weirdo, loser, degenerate creep. Pretty impressive one here. So, yep, just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's about it. See ya. If you grew up during the 90s or the early 2000s, there's an extremely high chance that you watched some of Dan Schneider's shows. It was like impossible to avoid him. It'd be like trying to dodge raindrops during a thunderstorm. Dan Schneider during this period was the king of children's television programs. He made some of the most influential productions like Drake and Josh, The Amanda Show, iCarly. His resume is just stacked with tons of shows that I imagine meant a lot to many of you growing up. And make no mistake, you meant a lot to the creator of these shows as well. Well, not so much you, but your feet certainly did. The creator of these shows is a monstrous foot fetishist, Dan Get in the Van Schneider. He is a vile, creepy, disgusting human being, and this has been known for years. However, a new docuseries just dropped really diving into this subject matter and putting a spotlight on it in a way that hasn't previously been explored. It's called Quiet on Set. Now, if you don't know what Dan looks like, here's a nice picture of him here. He looks like he was made in the Dragon's Dogma 2 character creator. And Dan Schneider has become the face of Quiet on Set. However, it actually explores more than that. It's like a whole deep look at all of the horrible things that were going on during these Nickelodeon productions. It's more than just Dan, but he obviously plays a central role here because he made these shows. He was the head honcho of most of this, and he was well aware of some of these terrible and downright criminal things that were going on behind the scenes on some of these shows. And the reason I mention the foot fetishism off rip here is because that was one of the first things that people really caught on to in the public eye. After Dan's glory days at Nickelodeon, people started to pick up on how odd it was that a lot of these children's shows had an emphasis on feet. Pretty frequently, it was a common thread throughout a lot of these shows, like feet humor and having these child actors and actresses displaying their feet. And in 2013, one of the shows Dan worked on, Sam and Cat, actually ran a competition where kids were supposed to submit pictures of their feet to them. Like, that's weird. No matter how you spin it, that's a really weird thing to request from your audience of children, to take pictures of their feet for you. That's just downright creepy and wrong. I can't believe that tweet is still up, by the way, over a decade later, and no one thought to delete that. That is impressive. But anyway, People started to pick up on Dan's fixation with stompers, and it seemed like his fetish was bleeding into his work, and he was having the children unknowingly participate in it by having them display their feet. That's what it seemed to a lot of people, so it was obviously very concerning, so people did more and more digging. They found more and more evidence of Dan being an awful piece of shit behind the scenes with a lot of shady things going on there. And it just led to this reputation that people for years have known that Dan blows loads to toes Schneider is not a good person. And now, Quiet on the Set has released, and so much information has come out, not just about Dan, but about that entire Nickelodeon workplace around these child stars. Arguably the largest piece of new information that dropped during this docuseries was the sexual abuse of Drake Bell by someone named Brian Peck. So, Brian Peck was a coach at Nickelodeon whom was sexually abusing Drake Bell, and he was actually convicted in 2004. He spent 16 months in the slammer, and then immediately upon release, landed a job with Disney. If that doesn't show just how rotten to the core this industry is, I don't know what will. There is deep-seated evil in Hollywood. He went to jail for lewd acts with a minor. He is a sex offender, a convicted sex offender, and he immediately got a Disney Channel job working on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody? What the fuck? That's mind-bogglingly evil. Like, that's not just irresponsible, that's malicious. It's not like they just made some kind of mistake where they put a sex offender in a role where he works almost exclusively with children. Like, it's not like they made a whoopsie-daisy, they just happened to overlook that he's a sex offender. They knew. They would have to know, and they still hired him for that role regardless. That's scary. That's terrifying. They're actively enabling a fucking sex offender to potentially prey on more children. Drake also described that when he went into court, Brian Peck had the support of some very powerful and familiar faces. There were 41 character letters written to the judge asking for leniency for Brian Peck. 41 letters of support from industry personnel that were trying to get a lighter sentence for Brian Peck, even knowing that he is guilty of the crimes for which he is about to face the punishment, asking for a more generous sentence. These weren't just 41 pieces of toilet paper with nonsensical scribblings on it from nobodies. These were 41 character letters that were submitted by industry personnel, some of whom were high up on the food chain, so these things carried weight, and they're advocating for someone who is guilty of sexually abusing a child. Holy shit. They just viewed it as not a big deal, I guess. Listen, Judge, I understand Brian Peck diddled a child. Who at Nickelodeon hasn't? Are you really gonna throw him away or put him away and throw away the key for that? What about season 3 of Drake and Josh? What actually matters here? Let's think about that. Like, this is crazy to me. It almost stops being surprising learning that Brian Peck landed a job at Disney right after his 16 months in prison for this crime, because it seems like that entire industry just does not give a fuck about the safety of kids to begin with. So like I said, Quiet on Set isn't just about Dan Schneider and all of the awful things that he has done. It's about how awful that entire industry itself is. But once again, Dan Schneider does still play a large role in this docuseries, highlighting the bad workplace and environment that he would cultivate, the weird shit that would go on in like the writer's room and the way he'd treat some people, just a whole plethora of different bad stuff. And in response to all of this, Dan Schneider himself actually stepped out from the shadows, leaving his little gopher's hidey hole and addressing it head on in one of the most painfully scripted and staged apology video interviews I've ever seen.
Hey, it's Boogie. I played T-Bo on Nickelodeon's iCarly. I got a chance to watch the Quiet on Set program, and I reached out to Dan to see if it was something that he'd be willing to discuss. I'm pleased to say that he said yes. Dan, how are you?
I'm okay.
The interview is not conducted by a professional. It's conducted by a former actor in one of Dan Schneider's shows, and he is not equipped to handle something like this. This is the biggest load of baloney. Like, this is just some straight up fucking malarkey. There is no pushback from Boogie on anything in this interview at all. It's just strategic softballs designed to give Dan Schneider some kind of sympathetic PR win here, where he comes out of this looking better, where he comes out of this like not the bad guy. It's so deplorable that they'd even try something like this with a straight face. I think it is extremely transparent what this is, and I'm happy to say pretty much everyone saw straight through this. This did not give Dan Schneider the dunk I think he was expecting it to. This did not make him look any better in the public's eye. It actually just made it look even more sinister that he was able to, it seems, pre-prepare this interview to mitigate the potential fallout from the docuseries airing.
Let's talk about the massages.
Okay.
Watching the content yesterday, it was disturbing.
It was wrong. It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation.
Dan, talk to me about the writer's room. From what I saw, not cool.
No, and I don't mean to cut you off, but if I can cut right to the chase, let me just say, no writer should ever feel uncomfortable in any writer's room, ever, period, the end, no excuses.
It starts with what's supposed to be this moment of taking accountability. Dan Schneider's just point blank apologizing and, you know, holding himself accountable for the sins of the past type vibe. Except he's really not. Like, these aren't things that you just, like, hand wave away with, like, a simple apology. A lot of what was reported is, like, unforgivable bad shit. Like, there's really no way of apologizing for the things that Dan Schneider has done and also been accused of. So it's just, it feels so fucking insincere. And Dan Schneider got away with it, and it seems will continue to get away with it. So he loses nothing by doing something like this, which just makes it frustrating to see him parade around pretending like he cares now all of a sudden. Like, it's extremely easy for him to just be like, oh yeah, that was bad. I feel bad for that. Oh, what a regret. Yep, not good. Like, it's just, I would have liked if the interviewer was someone that would legitimately dive into a lot of these things and actually press him on a lot of these things. This interview never even addresses the things that people want to hear from Dan on, such as like the sexualization of the children in those shows. Even outside of all the foot stuff, Dan included some very inappropriate things in his programs, such as Ariana Grande milking a potato, and then another scene with her getting like splashed with water and shit. Like, all of it was very unacceptable and seems to sexualize the child actors and actresses in his productions. And that was never even brought up in this interview. So this interview just, it doesn't have any real substance to it. It is legitimately just a scripted PR play from Dan.
I cut it. I want my shows to be popular. I want everyone to like. The more people who like the shows, the happier I am.
Yeah.
So if there's anything in a show that needs to be cut because it's upsetting somebody, let's cut it.
So I think it's big for you to say with your work, if it's viewed as that today, you don't have a problem.
Cut it. Cut it.
I mean, that's a solution.
The last thing I want to ever do is put any content in a show that's going to upset my audience and make them want to turn off the TV. Why would I ever want to do that?
That makes sense.
This is him addressing a question that Boogie asked about, like, inappropriate jokes in there without getting too deep into the weeds, just a broad subject of some of these jokes have aged poorly and people look at them as inappropriate for a child audience. How do you respond? The most softball way of asking this question, mind you, and his response was, cut it. Just get rid of it. I don't want it in the show. If it's aged bad and it makes people uncomfortable or, you know, this and that, cut it. And Boogie's like patting him on the back for it, like, oh my goodness, wow. That's so benevolent. What a great solution. Yeah, that makes sense. What the fuck? It's so easy for him to say that now, but it doesn't take away the fact that you filmed it. If you cut Ariana Grande milking a potato type shit, if you cut some of the foot stuff that you included in there, it doesn't change the fact that you still had the child actors and actresses doing that shit and were sexualizing them. It still happened. That's still bad. Cutting it from the final product doesn't erase what you did. It's so frustrating that there's no pushback on any of this in the interview. He just gets to let him say his piece and then get applause for it. It's so stupid.
And when Drake and I talked and he told me what had happened, I was more devastated by that than anything that ever happened to me in my career thus far. 41 of those people wrote letters for Peck, character letters, praising him for who he was and asking for leniency, and they knew that he was guilty. They knew he had confessed to some degree, and they still did this. But Drake's mom, a lovely woman who I stay in contact with this day, she came to me at the time and she said, "Would you help me with my speech for the judge?" And I said, "Of course." And I did.
Dan Schneider's fishing for the Nickelodeon's Kid Choice Award for the best fake crying. It feels super forced and super insincere. Him tearing up while talking about this story. This is him talking about the Drake and Brian Peck case, where he mentions 41 people wrote those letters and it baffled him, and then Drake's mom actually asked him to help her write her piece, which he did. And that leads me to a question of, if you knew all this, why didn't you back up Drake Bell? The way it's described, Brian Peck had all of these people in his corner, but Drake really only had his mom and his brother. Why weren't you more involved then? Like, I imagine that could have been extraordinarily helpful. But regardless, this interview doesn't do anything to change my perception of Dan Schneider, or anyone else's, really, I imagine, because it's still nothing. This isn't really an interview, it's just a PR piece, disguised as an interview. It's just more despicable garbage here. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to talk about this a little bit. Again, the docuseries is called Quiet on Set. It's out now. And yeah, just kind of wanted to go over it a little bit. That's it. So yeah. I remember a decade or so ago, there was this trend where some creepy, degenerate losers would go around in public and try and sneakily take pictures of women's panties by sliding their phone under their dress when they weren't paying attention. They treated it like they were Sam Fisher and Splinter Cell on a stealth mission trying to grab these photographs. And they'd take these pictures and they were called upskirts. If I remember correctly, there was even a Reddit community for that where they would proudly post this, which, by the way, is illegal. They were posting evidence of a crime they had committed on the subreddit. I'm pretty sure it got fully shut down, but right now there is like a Reddit upskirts community, but I think that's something totally different, like a phoenix that rose from those ashes, because it looks like those are upskirts that the people are taking of themselves for that community. But I do remember that there was a huge controversy about that a long time ago, and then pretty much overnight, it disappeared. Just like Godzilla after a big rampage, it just vanished. I'd never heard about upskirts again. I never read any headlines about anyone doing upskirts, getting like arrested or anything like that, until 2 days ago, with a Target creep who got caught on video taking an upskirt of another shopper. And it's become a pretty big story now. So when I first saw this, I thought it was fake. I thought it was like one of those rage bait things that TikTok does really often. Because it really looks, it's so over the top, like I really thought it was staged to be like a lesson, like, don't be a peeping Tom, don't be like this guy. But it turns out this is all super real. So he's now facing felony charges for this, obviously. I don't know why there's a watermark here though.
Excuse me, what are you doing? No, I just saw you put that underneath her dress. Absolutely you did.
No, ma'am, I really wasn't.
You absolutely did.
Ma'am, I really wasn't.
So, like, he looks pretty much right at her while she's filming, and he puts his phone under her dress. So I really thought it was like, oh, this is a skit. This is fake. But no, this guy is just that much of a brazen pervert. Degenerate. It's actually real. So I'll show you the follow-up in a second, but no, he actually leaves here in handcuffs. He is facing felony charges, and his whole life is ruined. Rightfully so, because who knows how many times he's done this. Upskirts are a crime. Like, you can't be doing that, obviously. He's a fucking degenerate. His legs shaking, that's wild. Oh yeah, we didn't finish the video, yeah. And also, instead of leaving, he stays to try and, like, talk his way out of it. Like, he was trying to find all the right dialogue options in the tree to get the good ending, instead of just running away like most people like him. So he stays the entire time to get arrested.
I really promise I wasn't trying to do anything inappropriate. I wasn't. I really wasn't. I'm not like that.
Obviously you are. I literally have it on video.
But ma'am, I'm not. I really am not. Like, I know it might have seemed that way in like the video.
No, it's just... Okay, listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna wait for them to get here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Like, I was just trying to look
Nope.
at books.
I was just trying to look at books. Okay. That's... what an interesting alternate theory there. He's just browsing some good reads. That's all. In the Pokemon cards section, where all the best books are. Does bro know porn exists? There's so many people like this, though. It's for them, I think, it's like the thrill of doing something like this. Like, I imagine this probably isn't the only time he's done it. And apparently he had been following the lady filming around the entire time, which is why she's filming here, because she got a very creepy vibe from this guy. And then I guess at some point she de-aggroed him, so then he went to this girl, started following her, and then did this.
Is everything on here? No, I have video of him sticking his phone underneath this lady's dress as she had bent over, videotaping her. And he followed me all around the store.
Okay. So...
We need to get police.
Okay, if you can go ahead and call them also.
Oh, they don't have the next one. But he gets taken away in handcuffs. But he gets taken away from the target with the police. Turns out he was like a very active member of the church, like the local church they were at. This and that. He tried to talk his way out of it. It has not worked, and now he's facing some super serious charges. But this was something that I found interesting. He keeps denying that he wasn't doing anything wrong, and he apparently showed the police his phone, like the recent pictures, and he didn't have any recent pictures, but I don't know if that also means videos, or if he also had time to delete them. Last I heard, they subpoenaed to get like his deleted information for forensic examination. And they also said this too. Police say they have yet to discover anything inappropriate involving children. Yeah, he's a volunteer at the elementary school. Arrested and cuffed at a fucking library. Show some respect, brother. He's a target. Why was the lady taking a video in the grocery store? Perfect time to catch him. Damn it, it's a Target. It's not just a grocery store, and it's not just a library. Show some respect. But as she said, she was filming him because he was initially following her around in the children's section. She got a creepy vibe, so she started filming him and following him around and then caught that. This. Imagine the unexpected turn of events, he didn't film anything. The charges against that poor lady would be crazy. Even if in the most unlikely of circumstances he didn't film anything, him putting the phone under this lady's dress still shows the intent. Like, even if he didn't hit record, like he missed it, he still showed the intent. And even if you can't arrest him for that, he's still going to be ostracized from like his church community and like his friends for that. That's creepy shit no matter what. I don't think he was recording. I think they hear the click of a photo being taken. Nope. Actually, I don't know if this is true. Chat can tell me if this is true or not. When I was reading through the story after I found out it was real, I learned that this was a pretty popular thing overseas. So I think in Japan, I think is where it was, they instituted this mandate that if you're taking a picture or a video, it has to have a sound. So you can't do this discreetly anymore because it makes a sound. And I thought that was the craziest shit. That's real? That is true? That's wild. It was that big of a problem, huh? US supermarkets have the same energy as random encounters in GTA. My dad died taking an upskirt photo. Alright. Interesting meme. So he's actually facing some additional charges as well for secret peeping. They issued a warrant after identifying 3 separate victims at the store on Monday morning, so he's facing 5 counts of secret peeping in total. Dude was really creeping and peeping on a Monday morning here. Allegedly 3 separate victims? Goodness gracious, Jesus Christ. He was just sliding his phone under everyone with a pulse at this store, I guess. But anyway, he's been caught red-handed here. He would have got away with it if it wasn't for those meddling iPhones that can also record him as well. Like, the crazy thing about a phone is it can be used for more than just filming panties. It can film you filming panties. So I guess we'll see what happens here. I highly doubt there's any alternate explanation for what he was doing in this video. I can't think of a single possible other reason for why he did what he did there aside from upskirts. That's the only logical thing. I can't even think of some kind of ridiculous theory. Never mind, scratch that. I did come up with a ridiculous theory. What if he wasn't grabbing upskirts there and instead saw a very venomous spider on the ground? He saw a black widow and he got down there calmly as to not scare the shopper or scare the spider away and then smashed it with his phone. Who knows? Maybe that's the story. Maybe that's what he did. He squished a bug and saved the day. Obviously, I'm fucking kidding with that. The only thing that can explain his behavior here is that he is a sexual degenerate that was grabbing upskirts. So I guess we'll see what charges stick here or what comes from this story. That's really about it. I just wanted to share it. That's it. See ya. What's worse than being a loser? Being cringe. These are two very powerful forces of shame. Loser and cringe. But what would happen if you combine these two elements? Put them together? Well, Buster, the product of that fusion dance would be Nico D'Ambrosio. A turbo loser cringe specimen, the likes of which this world hasn't seen in many, many moons. Nico D'Ambrosio is a Chicago man who's currently suing 27 women because they didn't enjoy the dates he took them on, and they dared say that to each other in a Facebook group. A private Facebook group, mind you. And Nico, with steam coming out of his ears, said, "This cannot fly in a civilized society. Every woman should be enamored with me and only have positive things to say. Thus, I'm taking you to court, heathens." That's exactly what he's doing. A Chicago man has taken out a defamation lawsuit against 27 women. One man and multiple social media platforms are finding negative posts. One man and multiple social media platforms after finding negative posts about him on the "Are We Dating the Same Guy" Facebook group. According to WXYZ ABC Chicago, 31-year-old Nico D'Ambrosio is suing up to 30 women for sharing negative dating reviews on Facebook group "Are We Dating the Same Guy?" He claims that the negative reviews started in November and these people made false and defamatory statements about him. The lawsuit included screenshots from the Facebook group describing Nico as very clingy, very fast, and claiming that he flaunted money very awkwardly and kept talking about how "I don't want to see his bad side." Oh my god, he hit him with the Hulk. "You won't like me when I'm angry." D'Ambrosio is not happy about how he is portrayed and is asking for $75,000 in damages. So if you're oh, that's the end of it. How do you calculate damages from a private Facebook group? What damages did he suffer? He's the Billy Mitchell of bad romance. It's a frivolous lawsuit filed because his feelings got hurt. And I think all of you know by now how I feel about people that try and do this kind of shit. These abhorrent lawsuits made to like bully or scare people into silence. I fucking hate it. And this has to be one of the more pathetic examples of this tactic being used. He's suing these women for $75,000, claiming they defamed him with slanderous, untrue remarks. And it hurt his reputation, which is why he's seeking so much money in return for it. But it's a private Facebook group, you goober. Your lawsuit has done significantly more damage to your reputation and put you in the spotlight. I would have never heard of you. Most people would have never known who you were had you not done this ridiculous lawsuit. You pitiful, whiny little worm. Douchebag. It's ridiculous. So, what happened is, a group of women that had dated Nico or met him, gone on dates with Nico occasionally, all talked about it in a group chat called "Are We Dating the Same Guy?", which is a private Facebook community that's supposed to talk about women's experiences with a particular individual and just go over like maybe some of the red flags that they encountered on their date. And it's just them going over their experience. That's it, in a private Facebook group. And with Nico, they were saying things like, "Hey, he got very clingy very fast," or "the date just was unremarkable," or "he ghosted me." It was never anything mean or slanderous or anything like that, and it was never even fucking publicly put out there. Nico went out of his way and found it and got so hurt and offended that he issued this lawsuit. So he now put all of this in the public eye. So now his face is on it like a fucking wanted poster in One Piece with a 75,000 berry bounty on him being a goddamn cringelord. All because some women that went on dates with him didn't really enjoy his company. Mentioning those things that I briefly touched on, but then also saying that he would talk about money pretty quickly and flaunt it or whatever. From everything I've seen, it's just super tame stuff. But even if they were being brutal about it, like, man, Nico is a real cuck. This guy was terrible. Our date sucked. Worst sex of my life. I couldn't imagine a man worse at sex than Nico. they can still say that. You still can't sue them for giving their opinion on how the date went with you or anything like that. That's still completely fine. They're not going out there and defaming you or slandering you. It's a private Facebook group. They weren't going out there making fraudulent claims about you, saying things like, Nico evades his taxes, Nico is an animal abuser. They were just sharing their opinion on you and the date, which they are totally well within their right to do. It's completely legal. The same way it's completely fine for me to say that you are a loser. I can say that. You can't sue me for calling you a loser and insulting you. It's not defamatory. You are a loser. We met organically in Chicago 2.5 months ago. Very clingy, very fast. Okay, that's what we just read. He came to see me yesterday and I explained, I think is what that is. After I blocked his number, he texted me on another one, which is the other text screenshot. Fuck. It's too small to read. Damn it. He alleges the woman initially shared the post under her real name, but deleted and reposted anonymously after his lawyers made contact last month. You're not even allowed to just say it was a bad date. You can't just tell other people you had a bad date. I mean, it's just a fucking Facebook group. I matched with him a month or so ago, but convo never went anywhere. I went out with him a few times just over a year ago. He told me what I wanted to hear until I slept with him, and then he ghosted. I'd steer clear. He's been posted here before. The poster said he sent her a slew of texts calling her names because she didn't want to spend the night with him. I just searched and this was on November 2nd, so take a look. They got the APB out on this guy. In damages because he's a victim of defamation, doxing, privacy invasion, according to the suit. The defendants broadcast their outrageous, cruel, and malicious lies about the plaintiff with knowledge that the statements were false or with reckless disregard as whether or not they were true. This wrongful conduct is so outrageous in character and so extreme in degree that is beyond all possible bounds of decency. It is to be regarded as atrocious and utterly intolerable in a civilized community. Brother, this is like the most lukewarm ratings ever. Like, hey, the convo didn't go anywhere. Hey, he ghosted me after I slept with him. Just maybe avoid him. Like, what the fuck? They're not even being vicious or anything. They're just like, hey, this was my experience. I didn't really like it. And he's like, no! No! My pussy is ruined! There's a tier 1 Kraken. I wonder if he'd sue me. I haven't been on a date with Mr. Nick D'Ambrosio, but I will say, he seems like a very insecure, sensitive little bitch. And a coward. I'd urge any Chicago women to probably steer clear of him as well. I wonder if I can get added to that suit. Bro wants to prove in court that he's not cringe. It's too bad, I already know better. You have been firmly judged as cringe. No chance of parole. That was a $50,000 statement. Low-key just advertising his Riz. Yeah, his lawsuit Riz. Pretty cool. I want you to read this statement again. Their wrongful conduct is so outrageous in character and so extreme in degree that it is beyond all possible bounds of decency and is to be regarded as atrocious and utterly intolerable in a civilized community, the lawsuit said. It's like they're referring to some kind of hate crime that they all just witnessed or were exposed to. If they thought those text messages they highlighted about him being clingy or whatever were so atrocious and extreme in nature, I can only imagine how Nico and his legal team are reacting to watching this video right now and the things I'm saying about him. Their jaws must be on the floor, furiously drafting up some kind of legal document for me, like fucking flames and like smoke coming off of the page as they're writing it all down. And I've never even met Nico, and I think he super sucks. I think Chicago women should definitely avoid him. Like, just look at the way he reacted for women that just shared their experience of having a less than stellar time with him. He will shut down your opinions, it seems. He does not want anyone to have an opinion of their own, only the opinion he wants you to have of him. What a piece of shit. How can you be so insecure and weak that when you find this, instead of learning from it like, maybe the problem really is me. Maybe that's why I haven't had a real relationship out of the last 27 dates I went on. Yeah, maybe I should really reflect on that. Instead of that, he goes, "Where's my lawyers? Do you see what you see these mean words they're saying about me in this group chat? They called me clingy. Me? They called me clingy. Come on, we ought to sue them. 75 grand, maybe at least. Like that's probably how much my tears are worth. I also can't help but appreciate the delusion from the rest of it too, saying things like, thousands of men have been potentially defamed by members of the group via these online publications and remain entirely unaware of the attacks on their character as a result of the social media group's private status and heavily moderated members list, the suit says. Can you just wrap your head around the ridiculousness of that statement? They are openly saying that it is private and heavily moderated, and that the individuals that are being talked about there are most likely entirely unaware. Because this is basically just a tight-knit community discussing their experience privately with each other. It's no different than a break room conversation with coworkers talking. You can't sue someone for a conversation they had privately with others about you. You are going after people for their opinion of you. They are not defaming you or anything like that. And since it's not public, they're not even bringing awareness to you being a weirdo. They are just talking privately with each other about like, hey, listen, this guy was kind of shitty. I didn't really enjoy it. Like, that's it. So if you match with him, just know I didn't have a great time. Maybe you will, but here were a couple of the red flags I noticed. That's totally fine, totally reasonable. There is nothing wrong with it, and this guy is still crying. It's crazy. And the lawsuit's trying to make it seem like it's some kind of almost noble cause, like this shadow organization working in secret has been defaming thousands of men for so long, and the men don't even know it. It's called just having a conversation in a group chat. It's not illegal. You can't sue for that. At least you shouldn't be able to. But this guy clearly has a ton of money at his disposal, and we all know how this system works. We just saw it fucking unfold with Billy Mitchell, actually, since I name-dropped him earlier. If you have a lot of money, you stand a much better chance of winning, even if it's the most outrageous shit ever. So I'm really hoping this doesn't go anywhere, because it is so fucking stupid and shameful. This man, Nico D'Ambrosio, and his entire legal team are absolute clowns. So I just wanted to talk about it a bit more. That's really about it. See ya. You have been lied to. For your entire life, you've been fed a fib. You've been living in a dimension of dishonesty. And I'm here to be the schoolyard bully who drags you back into reality, kicking, screaming, and coming. Pickup lines don't work. It's like the tooth fairy. They're not real. They're not effective. They're just weird. I know, that's a tough pill to swallow, but I'm giving you the cold shower you need right now. Is confidence important? Absolutely. No one wants to date some sad sack of shit. But it's not the only thing that matters. Which leads me to what I'd like to show you today. On TikTok, a lot of people have conflated confidence with pickup lines, and there's one man in particular I'd like to show you that I think is the perfect case study for why this is a bad thing. Pickup lines will never work for the majority of people in the world. Unless you are an actual chiseled Greek god, a pickup line is only going to serve to make you look creepy and dry up every vagina within a 5-mile radius. It's just a cringy, gross thing. Pickup lines only work in YouTube prank videos where it's all rehearsed and fake. But a lot of people don't seem to know that, so a guy on TikTok has been using pickup lines pretty much every day for the last month on strangers out in public, hoping to get their numbers or go on dates, and he's been rejected at least like 100 times now on camera, it feels like, in only a month, so he's setting a real world record here.
Excuse me. Hi, I got you Pop-Tarts for looking so beautiful. What's your name?
I have a boyfriend.
You do?
Yeah.
What's your name though?
I don't...
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to say you're pretty, okay?
Thank you.
You like my Pop-Tart line though?
Thank you.
That was good?
Huh?
My Pop-Tart pickle line, was it good?
Sure.
Yeah.
I ate Pop-Tarts.
Oh, you don't eat Pop-Tarts?
No, I don't.
Okay, have a good day.
I wasn't even in the shopping center at this time, but I honestly felt like I needed a shower just from even seeing the video. It's just so uncomfortable. You could tell the girl really just was dreading every second of that interaction. It only lasted about 35 seconds, but I bet it felt like an entire 24 hours worth of misery for her. And for him, too. Like, this is a guy that, you know, if nothing else can be said about him, he doesn't stay past the rejection. There's a lot of pickup artists that always say, don't take no for an answer, as if they're like some kind of business student at a shitty university who gets the worst advice ever. You know, if you get rejected, you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until you end up on the sex offenders registry. At least this guy, every time he gets rejected, he throws his hands up and he's like, oh, okay, then I'm done here. Then he says, thanks for your time, and then wishes them a nice day. Honestly, he's just like kind of a trick-or-treater, like, hey, thanks for, you know, the candy, I'm going home now. So that's great, and it shows me he has some level of self-awareness, but it's still some turbo creepy shit here, because he walks up phone in hand, recording them, and for some reason he always has the light on his phone. It was mentioned in like 4 of his TikToks, like, hey, are you recording? Why is the light on? And then he just denies it, like, no, I'm not recording, just lying about it. But yeah, so he comes up recording them and then delivers some of the worst lines of all time. He calls this one the Pop-Tart pickup line, but it's not really like a classic pickup line. This is rather unorthodox, I suppose. All he did is approach her with a box of Pop-Tarts and said, I got you this for being hot, and then gets rejected.
Excuse me. Sorry, this is awkward, but I just had to say you're very pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah, alright.
This was the rejection that started it all for this man. This was patient zero. The first time he went out in public and told a girl she was pretty. Came on pretty aggressive. She said thanks and then walked away. He walked away. You know, that's where that story ends. Not exactly a fairy tale ending. They didn't get married in the end or anything. But for some reason, this started it for him. This was enough to get him interested in continuing to pursue this as his main source of content.
Excuse me. Sorry, this is awkward, but you're very pretty.
Oh, thank you.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Jasmine.
Jasmine? I'm Nigel. Oh, Jasmine, like the flower, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you do look like a flower.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just kidding. What are you up to?
My man panicked right there and hit her with the just kidding. That was the real-time equivalent of the classic, hey, girl, you're super hot, I want to fuck. And then 5 minutes later with no response. LOL, sorry, just kidding, that was my friend, that was on my phone, not me, I didn't type that, how are you? Like, you can't just throw that out there and then immediately backpedal like that. He just bailed instantly.
Excuse me. Hey, I was just leaving the store. I had to tell you, you look so pretty.
Thank you so much.
What's your name?
Sherry.
What are you up to, Sherry?
Buying a charger.
Oh, buying a charger? What'd you do? Did you break your charger or what?
Losing them.
You're losing them?
Yeah, what store did you see me in? Are you recording right now?
Oh, no, I'm not recording. It's just a light. It's Ray-Bans. It blinks when it sees cute girls.
You're funny.
I really thought my man was about to run out of this store Looney Tunes style after getting caught red-handed recording. That's usually what's the creepiest part about these kind of interactions is they film themselves, like blatantly filming themselves recording the whole interaction. I don't know how they don't get called out more often for it, but it's super weird every time. But yeah, this was one of his more brave ones, just right in the middle of the store as she's trying to check out. You're pretty. Why are you buying a charger? No, I'm not recording. Yes, I have an erection. So what?
Excuse me. Hi, I'm sorry, I just had to tell you look so pretty.
Oh,
what's your name?
Me.
Nee, what are you up to, Nee? I like that. What is that?
I don't know. What's it called?
Trying to get you tattooed on my arm. I'm just playing. How's your day going?
Good, yours?
Yeah, you don't get approached a lot? You look nervous. Am I making you nervous?
No, I did, but I just kept walking.
You got scared, huh?
No.
No?
This one's pretty fucking rough. I can only imagine how scary it would be to just have some random goofball sprinting up behind you and you can hear him coming too. He's really fee-fi-fo-fumming his way behind her, shouting, excuse me, and then you turn around and it's a guy recording and says you're pretty. That shit's just gotta be painful. Like dipping your nutsack in like piping hot boiling water. Like it just can't be an enjoyable experience. And even he recognizes that, where he's like, oh, you look nervous. You know, you were probably scared. Did I make you scared? I'm sorry. You know, you were scared and nervous. Like he can even rationalize somewhere deep inside of him, like, yep, this was pretty psychopathic shit. I probably did scare her.
Excuse me. Sorry. This is awkward, but I love your outfit.
Oh, thank you.
What's your name?
I'm actually in a hurry.
Oh, you're in a hurry? Yeah. Well, can I grab your number real fast, you think?
Oh, I do have a boyfriend.
You do? Oh, you're very pretty, by the way. Take it as a compliment, okay? Yeah.
This one was pretty cool because he performed it in front of an audience here. That guy in the back is very well aware of what's going on here, and he's got front row seats to the cringe Super Bowl happening in front of him. And you can see even he's cracking a smile from time to time after how uncomfortable this whole interaction is.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh my god, you're so pretty.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Lauren.
What are you up to, Lauren?
Nothing much.
Yeah? What you looking for?
Close.
I'm looking for your number.
I have a boyfriend.
You do? Alright then. Well, you're pretty, okay?
I swear to God, this guy has heard the word boyfriend more than he's ever heard his own name. Every time he walks up to a woman within 3 or 4 sentences, he's able to get them to say, I have a boyfriend, or sorry, I have a boyfriend. Like, I don't know how many times you can take that. Just stop. Just fucking stop. Stop using your pickup lines. Stop recording yourselves trying to, like, come on to women in a really creepy, aggressive way. Just stop it.
Excuse me. Hi. Do you know where the library is?
Yeah, if you go all straight, you should see it. So just continue straight across the bridge.
Oh my god,
to your right.
The way you like pointed, you're definitely my type. I just playing. What's your name?
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn, what are you up to, Jocelyn?
I'm actually really late to class.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
What class you got?
Nutrition.
Nutrition. Oh, I love that class. Okay, have a good day. Okay, thank you.
Well, I mean, you know, he tried. There was an attempt there. You know, the way you just pointed out the library makes you the girl of my dreams. You're definitely my type. Regular old Casanova. I have no doubt shortly after filming, the girl ran back and jumped into his arms.
So, which was the library? Sorry, I'm new here.
The library?
Yeah.
Just walk straight like down. It's literally like, just walk straight and then it's like that big building right there.
Okay, you go here, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's your name?
Mine?
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna walk by the library right now.
Oh yeah? You wanna walk me?
Yeah.
Sure. You're attractive.
Thank you.
What's your
Unfortunately, in this one, he managed to run into an extremely nice person who was kind enough to invite him to follow her to the library because she thought he needed help getting there. And immediately upon receiving the invitation, he accepts it and gets super fucking weird about it. This will probably be the last time she offers to help a stranger find the library or anything of that nature. It goes on and on and on for like 30, 40 more videos maybe, I don't know, so many. And he's still going to this day. I think his most recent one was only like 4 or 5 days old as of right now, me making this video. So yeah, I just wanted to show this and let you know, pickup lines very rarely work, and going up to random women in public and being super creepy will never work. It's bad. That's about it. See ya. I've got good news and bad news, and I've always found it's better to get the bad news first. Just go raw and no rubber and hit you with the cold water right away. Force feed you the vegetables so that way the dessert tastes even better. The bad news, I'm about to show you an insufferable asshole, perhaps one of the most miserable people to listen to on the planet. The good news, he's about to be arrested. Let me introduce you to Johnny. Johnny is the epitome of turbo virgin. I know this word gets tossed around a lot, but he is a self-proclaimed incel and one of YouTube's most prolific stalkers / woman harassers. This goofy goober looks like if Raymundo from Rocket Power and Tommy Wiseau did a fusion dance and created the world's most socially inept asshole. Now Johnny's whole shtick was he would wait outside of bars, clubs, and even parking garages, literally just fucking live in parking garages until he saw the slightest hint of a human female nearby. And then he would get his phone out and start recording himself, following them, insulting them, and demanding they fuck him. And he'd follow them for what felt like miles. These videos would go on for so long, and always it would end up the same. Them threatening to get the authorities involved because they were literally scared for their lives around this guy because he was completely unhinged. And he continued this shit for about a year. I've known about his pitiful existence for quite some time, but just never really wanted to bring any attention to it for obvious reasons. But now, he pushed the envelope a bit too far and flew a bit too close to the sun, and his tiny little micro dick burned up. He actually assaulted a woman who defended herself from him. He pepper sprayed her, and it was after he instigated the entire conflict. And now that video has surfaced and the authorities have gotten involved and they're looking to arrest him and potentially charge him with assault with a deadly weapon, as well as a hate crime and the discharge of tear gas. The article also alleges that he was recently arrested after getting kicked out of a club with his friend, and while getting escorted out basically claimed white power and some other shit like that, which sounds par for the course for a fucking homunculus like this guy. Imagine evolving for millions upon millions of years and ending up like Johnny. What a bad fucking deal. Just an actual shit stain on the planet. But anyway, I'd like to show you the video that is going to lead to his arrest. What triggered it all here and started this chain reaction where finally it looks like he will no longer be terrorizing innocent people on the streets.
Can I hang out with you?
My guy just stole my car, so he's...
Where'd he go? Newport Coast? Huh? Can I hook up with you? What kind of vagina do you have? Is it an innie or an outie? Does it have beef curtains?
I'm gonna call the cops if you don't.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're annoying, dude.
Why are you following me?
Because I wanna fuck.
That's his real voice, by the way. He's not putting on some kind of show, he's not playing a character. He genuinely sounds like one of the Looney Tunes character Inhaled Helium forever. It actually just sounds like he's making fun of a stereotypical incel demanding tindies from mommy. That is just his normal state of being. He does it unironically. Man's collected all the infinity stones of cringe and ascended to a level beyond pathetic. I'll go ahead and play the rest of the clip.
My fat ass cock is ready to get hard for you.
Cops are coming right
Why would you call the cops on me, bro? I'm just speaking.
It doesn't matter.
Fuck you, you little bitch, you little void. Oh, you little. Whoa, what's wrong with you? Chill out, chill out, chill out. Hey, chill out, chill out, chill out. You just kicked me in the balls. You back up. You back up. You back up. Throw that at me. You're gonna.
It's an absolute shame that he didn't lose his footing and fall down the stairs in front of him. I've never prayed so hard for shoelaces to malfunction in my life. So yeah, the guy's obviously a coward. He carries pepper spray because he'll push people to the absolute edge, and when they finally do, like, defend themselves, he'll just pepper spray them. Now, of course, there's almost 0 people in the world that like this guy and can stand to be around him. I imagine even his own parents drink themselves into a dreamless slumber every single night, just regretting the day that they conceived this failure. But I did see on Twitter a couple of people blame the woman here, saying she assaulted him first. Now, of course, Twitter is just this disgusting cum dumpster of the most brain-rotted clowns imaginable, but I did want to at least talk about it. There's such a drastic difference between throwing a shoe after being verbally harassed for however many minutes before filming, because he was doing this even before he started filming. This is only a piece of the video. To be harassed that long and then just respond by throwing a shoe is completely different than getting fucking pepper sprayed. It just can't even be compared. That's like if a kid shot a spitball at you and you responded by hitting them with a sledgehammer. Pepper spray is hardcore. It's a legitimately painful experience. From everyone I've ever known to be pepper sprayed, they have said it's the most painful thing they've ever experienced. Luckily, I haven't been pepper sprayed, but I know from what I've seen and the people that I know that it is something that isn't just laughed off or something trivial. So it's just not even in the same ballpark. And she did it in what I consider to be self-defense. This was like 3 a.m., the witching hour, don't summon Freddy Fazbear at 3 a.m. kind of shit. Like, this is haunted. This guy is hanging out at a parking garage in the middle of the night, being fucking creepy and weird, saying things like my hard cock is ready for you and shit like that. You don't know what he's gonna do. That is a dangerous person. So to like get him away from you and throw a shoe, I think is like an appropriate response. And especially because he already proved you can't just walk away from the confrontation, because he had just previously followed a woman all the way to her car who was panicking, making up a story about having her car stolen and visibly uncomfortable and worried for her own fucking life. So her trying to scare him away like a pigeon on the beach was really like the only thing she could do to like diffuse the situation and make him stop. And then he responded by ruining his life with the pepper spray, because now he'll be arrested for it, and I cannot fucking wait. I think that is extremely exciting news that this guy is finally going to face some serious repercussions for this shit, because it's been going on for quite some time. He has a long history of doing this shit without remorse, and this is beyond deserved. I'd like to show you just one more clip that survived when his channel got nuked. This is just another example of the kind of shit that he would do on a regular basis.
Hey, are you single?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you single?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, you think I'm hot?
Oh, I didn't say that.
You don't think I'm hot?
I can't even see you without my glasses.
Oh, really? Do you live here?
I don't even know here.
Do you want to hang out?
Probably not right now because I'm not even.
What are you gonna do later? Sleep? Can I come sleep with you? You don't want a massage?
No, I'm good.
Luckily, she eventually escapes from the 7th circle of hell there, but this was his content. This is all he would do. He would just wait to find women pretty much anywhere, really, and make them as scared and uncomfortable as possible and film it. That was his entire existence. That was his whole purpose. And now it's finally over. Can finally breathe a nice sigh of relief. You won't accidentally see this man sitting on a fucking park bench somewhere and ruining your day. So I just wanted to share the both bad and good news here. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah. If I was to ever do a tier list of creepy guys on the internet, the guy I'm about to show you would be the undeniable, top tier, triple S, super smokin' style creep god. The individual you're about to see almost makes that guy that was sending pig carcasses to the coworker he loved seem sane. I know I've called one other person in a video the creepiest guy ever, but the man I'm about to show you today, I think is far more disturbed, so much so that I'm actually somewhat concerned for the safety of the people around him. I'm sure you've seen this video floating around right now because it's going viral, and for good reason. It is scary.
The Cracker Barrel, and I was going to play a song for a woman that I kind of like, and I got there, and she saw me, and she immediately pulled away, and I wasn't forcing her to listen or anything, you know, I just wanted to play the song for her. You know, give her own choice if she wanted to be with me.
Now, I'll quickly bring you up to speed on what's happening right now with the lore. So, the cops are there because the guy called them, I believe. So, he's a Kaioken times 10 weirdo. He called the cops because he wanted to report this girl's dad, a girl that he chased around while playing his music to try and win her love. And his music is downright horrifying. It sounds like 5 trash cans being violently slammed together while someone's getting murdered in an alleyway for the vocals. I have been so deep in this rabbit hole learning about this man. It's been like an episode of Mike Rowe's Dirty Jobs just gathering all this information. I'm gonna play you just a quick snippet from one of his tracks.
Fire sprout to the moon to the top and grow! Elements coming together now! Whoa! Feel the rap!
The voice of an angel. I can't believe this plan didn't work. It's so romantic it sounds straight out of a Disney film. He also keeps saying he was giving her a choice to listen to his music and fall in love with him. Even though there's no choice here because he was stalking her and chasing her playing this over his fucking boombox, I guess. But anyway, she was so frightened that she ended up calling her dad, and her dad got in contact with him and said some mean things to him. So the guy then called the cops on the dad, hoping to like get him arrested or file something against him.
You know?
Does she know you?
Yeah, I worked with her there for like 5-6 months.
Did y'all have a relationship?
No, we were talking a little bit, but it never really got serious.
Okay.
But anyways, I pulled up there, and I was in the other parking lot, and I saw her get in her car, and I was like, oh shoot, it's my moment. So I pulled up there next to her, and she pulled away from me, and so I chased her a little bit, just because, I don't know, women are crazy. Like, I felt like she like wanted me to chase her.
Do you not think chasing somebody's crazy?
Well, it's just like, I only went like a couple blocks down the street.
God, it's so sad that women can't appreciate a good, nice guy like this. Women are so weird. How can they not appreciate a complete psychopath chasing them around for a few blocks while blaring music that sounds like the soundtrack to a slaughterhouse?
Just saying, don't you think chasing somebody's crazy when they obviously don't want to?
Well, I had my song playing, and I wanted to like her to hear it, maybe.
Well, apparently she didn't want to hear it, right? So what else happened? Let's get on these.
His complete lack of remorse and disconnection from reality is startling. Oh no, it's not weird. Like, I'm not weird. Why are you trying to say that I'm the crazy one for chasing her? I had my song playing. Oh, did I forget to mention that? My song was playing, so now everything's justified. Like, I wanted her to hear it so she'd have a choice to fall in love with me, obviously.
Her father called me up, and he made some threats to me and to my life.
Okay.
And so I just want to have his name on file.
What did he say to you?
I think he said he's going to stab me, like, but he's like cussing at me.
He said that, or he did say that?
He says, I'm going to do something to you. I swear I'd do something to you.
For chasing his daughter?
Yeah, but it wasn't chasing. It was like going down a couple streets. Like, that's like fun to women. Like, women like that. A little bit of excitement.
No, they don't.
Fucking unhinged logic. No, I wasn't chasing her. It was like minor stalking. You know, that's nothing. Women love to be stalked. Like, it's fun to them. It's exciting. God, what an absolute lunatic. So yeah, the dad calls, apparently made threats against him because I'm assuming his daughter called him in a panic, like, holy shit, this guy's coming after me, and I'm fucking horrified. So the dad is trying his best to, like, stop anything bad from happening, so I'm sure the dad in this, like, passionate moment's like, leave her the fuck alone, or I'm gonna do something about it, I'll give you a knuckle sandwich, why I oughta. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. To try and protect his daughter, keep her safe, doing what he can from a distance. Like, get the fuck away from her, you creep.
Women don't like to be chased.
What about like
If I was a
porn?
father, I'd probably tell you the same thing.
What about like BDSM porn, where women like to have rape fantasies?
Well, apparently this girl doesn't.
Well, who knows? Most women do like having rape fantasies.
It took us only about a minute for him to start mentioning rape after talking about stalking and, you know, downplaying how stalking's not a big deal. Immediately brings it to BDSM and rape fantasies. From fucking out of nowhere. Oh, you're gonna call me crazy for chasing her? Well, what about rape? You know, there's rape fantasies in porn, what about that, And then he has the gall, the chutzpah to say most women have a rape fantasy. It's blowing my mind here, this guy's thought process. Fucking crazy. I'm also 100% sure he's never had an actual conversation with a woman. When he mentioned at the beginning they were kind of talking, I imagine it's because they were coworkers, and she said, like, hi to him occasionally, or, like, while they were working, were like, hey, need to do this. And that, to him, was, like, meaningful interaction with a human female. This is, like, a scary individual. His brain immediately jumps to rape when confronted with his actions.
Okay, do you think she does?
I don't know. But
Apparently she don't.
well,
So what do you want us to do?
well, I just want you to get his name on file, just in case he does do anything to me.
Do you know his name?
I know his daughter's name.
What do you know his name?
I know her name. I don't know his name. He called me from a restricted phone number.
Okay. Here's my suggestion. Leave her alone.
A great suggestion from the officer here. Superb. Just get the fuck away from her. Leave her alone. Solves all the issues here. Case closed. Didn't even need Dr. Phil on this one to get to the bottom of it. The solution was obvious. Just get away from her.
Well, this is one song I made, and this was the final chance I was going to have.
Here's my chance. Here's my advice. It's over. Leave her alone.
Okay.
Fathers will hurt you over their daughters.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is she needs to have her own free will, man. You gotta understand, I'm a man myself, bro, and I have needs myself.
She's choosing her free will by telling her daddy what happened to you, and I'm telling you, stay away from her because he will hurt you probably.
She's being controlled by him.
For some reason, he's so delusional, he keeps thinking that she doesn't have her own authority to make her own choices, yet keeps saying she needs her own free will. She had her own free will by running away from you. By, like, being scared of you, running away, and then telling her dad that is her making choices to try and protect herself from you. Because you are the threat. You're the fucking danger that's knocking on her door, and she is responding with her own free will of getting the fuck away from you as fast and efficiently as possible. It's just such a scary thought process because in his mind, he's totally justified in everything that happened here, and it's all normal to him. And the fact that she's not in love with him right now, not in his arms, in his bed, is because her dad is forcing her to make choices to split the two apart. It's not her making those choices because he's perfect. The guy with his music, his mixtape that sounds like 5 fucking squirrels being blown to pieces, he thinks his music's the best and he's the best man in the world, so there's no way she is choosing on her own free will to not be with him. That is a dangerous thought process.
That's fine. That's fine. That's her choice, right? Free choice, free will.
I think she should go do porn.
Okay, you need to leave.
It's legal.
You need to leave.
Well,
we're not doing anything. You need to leave.
I'm having a discussion on it.
I'm having a discussion telling you to leave.
I actually appreciate how the officer handles this situation here. He's not giving this guy an inch. He is fighting him on every point he tries to make. Not that any of his points have any logical basis whatsoever or any sound reasoning, but I like that the officer's pushing back on everything, and he crosses a line when he says she should do porn. Where does that even come from? Like, everything this guy is saying is a giant red flag, and he needs legitimate help.
I was going to let her make her own choice after the song.
Well, she's made her choice.
And I just don't think she had a reasonable opportunity to make a choice, because I'm going to blow up, and I'm going to be a famous DJ, and I'm going to be like...
How old is she?
He still really believes that because she didn't finish listening to his song, she didn't have the right to say no. She didn't have reasonable basis for declining and rejecting him, I suppose. He believes he's gonna blow up and be a famous DJ or this and that, thus she's making a huge mistake and needs to reconsider the choice, and her dad's making her choose this. It's fucking terrifying.
Oh shit. You know what? Lindsay's dad, I hope you see this fucking video.
Now, just like in The Dark Knight, we have the Joker turning the camera on himself here, and we get to take a look at him. And he really still believes everything he's done is justified and that the girl and her dad are the villains here.
You know what happens when women don't ever, you know, come to terms with themselves? Bad shit happens. I don't know. Something the cops want to deny.
And this right here I think should be taken very seriously. This is not a mentally well person. And this comes across as an actual threat against the safety of both the girl and her father here. He's already shown that he has no problem stalking women, and I really think this needs to be looked at seriously to make sure that he's not in a position to do harm to anyone around him. It's just very concerning.
Me trying to get her to be straight. Something is wrong about that. I don't see why these traditional ass motherfuckers think they can speak shit whenever it's this woke, belligerent LGBT shit that has her right now. I just don't see it. I'm older than her fucking father. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, this rant's really going off the fucking rails. So apparently the girl isn't interested in men, and his plan was to make her interested in men by giving her his love as well as letting her listen to his songs. And when she still wasn't interested, she blames the dad. Like, the dad is the one that's made his daughter not like him, and then says that he is older than her dad. Like, it's so fucking wild. But it is all very concerning to listen to. I just wanted to share this because I do think this is the creepiest guy I've seen online so far. And I truly hope that everyone involved here is safe, and hopefully this guy gets the help that he very much needs. Anyway, that's about it. See ya. I don't care what your plans were for today, they're about to change. So call in sick to work, and I don't give a shit if it's like the biggest day of your life, your wife's in labor right now, delivering your brand new baby into this world, you're on the way to the hospital right now to be supportive and help. You're about to pull over, because I'm going to show you a man that's going to make you too horny to function. You're going to black out from pure ecstasy. I'm talking, of course, about Dimitri, the lover. A couple days ago, I gave you just a small appetizer, a little taste of Dimitri, the lover, and my god, it tasted like ass. Now, I mentioned in the last video, Dimitri the lover was actually an alias used by a pickup artist named James Sears. James Sears used to be a name that'd strike fear into the hearts of women everywhere. He's like the boogeyman. But if the boogeyman was like 5 times scarier, he looks like if Tommy Wiseau and Harvey Weinstein did a fusion dance. And yes, he has been rearrested, like I mentioned, but today I wanted to finish the voicemails that he left because in the viral TikTok video we covered, it was only half of the story, and I think it's not right that we don't get the conclusion here to this wonderful fairy tale of sadness and disaster. This dude, I have to imagine, was collecting restraining orders like Pokemon cards back in his prime. Like, goddamn. So, we're picking up right where we left off.
I had a long-distance relationship. You know, when a year, it's very tough to maintain it like that, and it didn't work out. There's nothing wrong with me. Matter of fact, I'm one of the few men in the city that has nothing wrong with him.
It's about time, finally, a man with nothing wrong with them, a sane, rational, nice guy. I don't even know why he brings up a long-distance relationship that failed. I guess he's just still very upset about it, and you can still kind of hear that pain in his voice. It's just an old scar now, a battle wound that he can't help but pour salt in. Oh yeah, the relationship failed all because of her, no fault of my own. There's nothing wrong with me, she did it. But it doesn't bother anymore, I'm completely over it, I've moved on, I swear to God I've moved on. I've had sex 50 fucking times a day ever since, and I'm much happier now, I fucking promise you, and don't you ever question whether or not I'm happy about it. Also, I have to doubt whether or not this relationship ever existed in the first place. It seems like another classic manipulation tactic from pickup artists where you're supposed to make yourself look as pathetic as possible in front of a woman, hoping that she feels bad enough to have sex with you.
So I'm giving you that 3 o'clock deadline. If I don't hear from you, you lose my number. I'm erasing yours right now, so you won't be hearing back from me. So that's it. 3 o'clock tomorrow, or you can just completely forget it.
Actual serial killer vibes coming off of this guy here. Straight up the Riddler from the new Batman movie. hitting them with the less you have of it, the more valuable it becomes. But instead of the answer being friends, in this case, it's brain cells. I don't understand how someone becomes this delusional, this out of touch, and not have a single iota of self-awareness like, damn, this is creepy. He is actually pretending to be a fucking movie villain.
Now, I understand if you've got other issues, like maybe you're not playing games, maybe you've had, I don't know, maybe you were abused in childhood, maybe your mother has cancer, you're going to chemo, maybe you're just a person who's extremely frightened or has an anxiety disorder, maybe you're on some medication for that, I don't know. There could be another issue that I'm not aware of.
Honestly, that's the only logical explanation for why she hasn't called him back yet. That she must have been abused as a child. All of that trauma from her childhood makes it very difficult to fall in love with a real, good man like James Sears. Honestly, this voicemail reminds me of the movie One Missed Call, the old horror movie that scared me when I was a child, where you get like a phone call and it's a voicemail of you dying on the other end and then you die in real life. Getting a voicemail from James would be scarier than if One Missed Call was real. Like, this guy is so unbelievably creepy, he's making my butthole pucker. Like, I just feel like I'm going into fight or flight mode just listening to this voicemail from the outside. I briefly hinted at deeper lore in the last video with the whole James Sears anime, and once we're done with the voicemail, I'll get into it a little bit more, but he actually had his own weird, creepy newsletter too. So it wasn't just directly harassing women and making them feel unsafe, he also did it using writing as well.
But nobody says, call me, hands a person a business card, and then doesn't return calls. It's extremely passive-aggressive. You should actually look that up, passive-aggressive personality disorder. And you let me know if you've got issues, psychological issues, if you're on any sort of medication for anxiety or depression, I'm not interested.
Dude's making this sound like one of those dick-growing pill commercials like Cialis or whatever. If you're taking any of the following medication, then Dimitri the Lover's not interested, and then just goes into list potential side effects. You also gotta love the pickup artist classic of insulting the women. Oh, you should look into passive-aggressive personality disorder. I am a licensed psychiatrist, so I'm diagnosing you, in fact, with that personality disorder. And you're lucky that I'm even taking the time to continue talking to you because you're diseased. You're filthy. That is an actual pickup artist staple. Just point blank insulting women and being obnoxious assholes and expecting sex in return. Just like, hey, you stupid bitch. You disgusting harpy. I bet you suffer from loose pussy disorder. But whatever, I'm a nice enough guy to give you the time of day. So when are we fucking? It's so baffling to me, because almost every pickup artist guru I've ever listened to recommends some type of manipulation tactic that includes belittling and insulting the woman. And you can see it on full display here in these voice messages.
Okay? But if you're psychologically normal, and you haven't called me because there's been some horrible thing that's happened in your life which prevented you, that's fine. But otherwise, don't call me. Okay? Bye.
Yeah, that's right. There's only one excuse for not calling Dimitri the Lover back, and that's if you've been kidnapped, or maybe severely injured by a falling meteor or something. That's the only possible explanation for why someone wouldn't return Dimitri the Lover's phone calls. I love that perspective. Oh god, she hasn't called me in a week. Something must be wrong. She must have been kidnapped by terrorists. I'm gonna have to leave her an angry voicemail about it. It's so wild. She must have been abused as a child. Otherwise, why didn't she call me back? It just doesn't make any sense. I'm just such a catch. I'm the only guy here that is just perfect for her and she hasn't called me back. Thus, something must have gone awry. Maybe she has some kind of psychological disorder. Yeah, that's probably it. She's not sane like I am. So weird. But anyway, that's the end of the voicemails from Dimitri the Lover, at least the ones that I find. This was the director's cut of it. However, that's not where James Sears' story ends. So like I briefly mentioned, James Sears had a publication that eventually got him tossed in the slammer. That's what he was arrested for. The publication was very anti-Semitic and misogynistic. He was arrested on hateful conduct and then rearrested after breaking parole. I've only been able to find a few snippets of his publication, and you can see just how deranged this shit looks. It's like an old GeoCities internet page in like the late 90s. It is formatted like it's actually from a crazy person in Arkham Asylum. This shit is bafflingly wacky. And it's not easy to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It makes me question whether or not Dimitri the Lover really was as sane as he said he was in those voicemails. He said he was the only man in the city with nothing wrong with him, but then I look at this publication and I think to myself, are you sure? You sure there's nothing wrong with you? You know, I just have to doubt it. But again, it's Dimitri the Lover, alright? The savant of seduction, the savior of sex, right? Like, who am I to question his expertise? But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to at least finish the voicemail and tell you a little bit more about James Sears, aka Dimitri the Lover. Yeah, that's about it. See ya. About 4 or 5 months ago, there was a TikTok account that I was made aware of. I won't say the name of it, nor will I say the name of the channel that I'm about to talk about here. And as always, please don't go and harass this person. But the TikTok account, it was basically one guy going into these pseudo-intellectual takes trying to break down why women are the way they are, implying that they're stupid and built differently, making them inferior to men, saying things like they can't get close to God like men can, and that they can't be trusted. Just horrible shit. He'd also imply that they only care about big dick and a lot of dick. And like, yeah, the only way to get laid is by having a huge sledgehammer penis. Science confirmed it. It's just like really alarmingly terrible shit. And over time it became more and more clear that this guy just doesn't like women. He seems to just hate women. Just really awful shit. He eventually got banned for it, luckily. But now he's taken that filth and put it on YouTube. And I just wanted to share a little bit of it with you. So this is a video of his called "Women Are Not Real." And I don't like to use this word, but this is the epitome of incel shit.
Women are the physical manifestation of sensory perception. And in the same sense that when your senses are overloaded in any particular way, whether they're overloaded with pleasure or overloaded with pain, if your senses keep receiving that same stimulus over and over, you are not going to have as strong of a reaction to that same stimulus.
None of that meant anything. Everything he said there had actual no meaning behind it. It's just a lot of fucking nothing. You just took a bite out of a nothing burger that this guy fed you out of his ass. He so desperately wants to sound smart and it's just not working. I also can't tell if he's 15 or in his 20s. It's impossible to know for sure, but it looks like he's still going through puberty.
In this same sense, being that women are the physical manifestations of this phenomenon, that is why women's value must be preserved. They can't be trusted to handle anything of greater responsibility, anything of greater importance than daily household chores and taking care of babies. Not taking care of children, taking care of babies.
Well, that sounds a bit alarming, a bit of a red flag, but who am I to question the expert? Just look at the amount of books he has on his shelves. This guy's clearly a genius. He also even has some cursed ancient Egyptian relics back there for some reason, like the fucking Millennium Puzzle or something. So, I mean, he must know what he's talking about. He seems very, very knowledgeable. When I first heard this, I was convinced it had to be a troll, but the more and more I look into this guy, the more clear it becomes that this guy has just actually been indoctrinated into the incel shit. He comes out right away and just says the only thing women can handle is household chores and babies. Holy shit.
Because once babies turn into children, that's when the psychological development comes into place, which far exceeds the capabilities that women are able to provide for the child. But going back to the value preservation, women's value has to be preserved while a man's value has to be created. Women are born with inherent value, men are born with no value, or next to no value.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, men really got the short end of the stick. We have no value compared to women. Who the fuck hurt this guy? I find it hard to believe he's ever talked to a woman, so I don't think he has like a real world experience getting like his heart broken or something, causing this kind of monster he's become. I really think he's probably just been terminally online and then just started adopting the incel beliefs.
The reason a woman has inherent value is because her value is based on her fertility. To put it bluntly, that's what it's based on. Women's value is based on their fertility. That's why it's in the best interest of a woman not to waste her inherent value and and try to lock down a high value man, or a man who looks like he's on his way to becoming high value, as soon as she can.
That's right, ladies. Time is running out. You're missing your chance with this high value alpha male. Like, what are you waiting for? Your ovaries are drying up. Your pussy, it's gonna turn to dust unless you let this guy put his dick in it. So, you're fucking up. You're losing a high value male by waiting around. Come on, he's just right around the corner over there.
But like I said, the more experiences, whether positive or negative, that a woman goes through decreases her value, because women cannot handle the stresses or the pleasures of life.
Yeah, ladies, you're supposed to stay locked in a fucking isolation chamber, a sensory deprivation tank, and wait for this fucking angel to grace you with his huge wiener. Alright? The more times you're having fun, the more times that you're maybe being sad, the less valuable you are. So stop having experiences, okay? Just exist in a fucking ball and wait for this man to ride in on his white stallion with a chariot and his dick and balls out and take you off your feet. So that way he can breed. God damn it. Stop being so selfish and having experiences, you harpies. I'm obviously cutting some parts of this video out because he just drones on and on and on and on. So I'm trying to just get all of his main points here. And my God, is it absolute lunacy.
The more stress she goes through, the more she sees the world as nothing more than a negative place. And I've mentioned this in a previous video, but it's because women are not able to connect with God in the same way that men are. Women are not able to renew themselves mentally. They see everything on earth through the lens of the material.
What in tarnation? I must have missed that lesson in Sunday school, but he's blown the case wide open. Apparently women just can't connect to God the same way men can. And if you can't have a good connection to God like this guy does, I mean, you're fucked. What's the point? You don't have any value. Over and over and over again, this guy harps on the belief that he thinks women are too stupid to handle anything. He doesn't even view them as humans, it sounds like. He literally views them as like machines to pump out babies. All he says is that women aren't capable of handling experiences. That's like his main point right now. They don't have the same mental fortitude that men do, nor do they have the same connection to God that men have. Like, what the fuck is even wrong with you to think that for a second?
They see everything on earth through the lens of sensory perception. If something doesn't excite them enough, then it's not a good thing. If something stresses them out too much, then it's also not a good thing. Everything has to be new, everything has to be fresh, everything has to be exciting all the time, 100% of the time, otherwise it's bad. That's how women see the world. They don't have an accurate lens of reality through which they see the world. They just don't see reality.
Oh, but this guy sees reality. Yeah, this guy's really grounded in reality. This guy is so perceptive to reality. He's like Doctor Strange. He can see every possible reality in the known multiverse. Oh my God. And then he talks about women like they're all exactly the same, just fucking clones of each other. He can't even wrap his head around the idea that people are different and not just what he reads about on these weird fucking subreddits.
They interpret the quality of reality through the type of sensory input they're receiving. That's why girls don't work out. You ever wonder why the vast majority of women don't work out? They're fortunate enough to be born with a nice looking body, and then it just wastes away. They don't work out. They could preserve their body a little bit by working out.
Well, you heard it here first from this sculpted Adonis who only films from above the nipples to hide lack of muscle definition. No woman has ever worked out, or at least not many of them.
But that's why. It's because it hurts. Working out hurts. And since women only interpret the world through sensory perception, anything that hurts is a bad thing. They can't handle it. They literally can't handle working out. That's how strongly this influences their mind. And just as when I was saying earlier, when a woman goes through too many negative experiences, she's not able to renew herself because women are not as connected to God. They're not able to refresh themselves psychologically. They're not able to detach themselves from the material world.
Yeah, you suck. Yeah, you just fucking suck. Blows my mind that somebody like this not only exists, but also is delusional enough to post it online. Just literally put his face on this garbage. I can't imagine this is super helpful for him in his career if he has one, or if he's trying to make a career out of getting professionally banned on TikTok repeatedly.
So do pleasure experiences. If a woman has the best sex of her life with a guy, she will never be able to enjoy another man again.
Oh, so that's what happened here. The old 2-inch glory wand isn't getting the job done. The old skin flute ain't performing the way it used to. Now you just need to find something to blame? Okay. Now we're starting to put together the pieces of this jigsaw puzzle.
Even pleasurable experiences are too much for the woman to handle because they cannot refresh themselves. They can't see men in a new light. They can't appreciate different aspects of the man. All they see is whoever gives them the most dick, whoever gives them the most exciting experience.
I wonder if this guy actually believes that all women are just this wiener-hungry monster that's just constantly, like, foaming at the mouth for more cock to munch on. But it's never his wiener. You know, like, I can't imagine that he truly thinks that the only thing that matters to a woman is a penis. Like, how delusional. My God. I cut out a really long section where he just goes into divorce court, and to be fair, divorce court's pretty corrupt, like a lot of things. I don't think there's many people that would argue that divorce court is great, but he goes from that right back into, the only thing women care about is dick. Who gives them the most dick? They collect dick like Pokemon cards. My dick's good enough, goddammit!
Whoever takes her on the most expensive date, on the more expensive date, he's the one who's gonna take the cake. She will forever look at every other date after that with a sense of pity. You ever notice how girls who've been ran through or just more attractive girls tend to look at men with a sense of resentment or a sense of pity?
Bro, they look at you with a sense of resentment and pity because you are pathetic and creepy. Like, it's not... You make all of these massive generalizations. It's nutty. The things this guy says and the points that he makes are things that you would have read in Elliot Rodgers' manifesto. It's dangerous shit to actually fall into this pit where you think women are only here for men's pleasure and they only care about 3 things: dick, money, and height. I don't know if he even mentions height. I don't remember in the rest of the video, but he's already talked about how they only care about the biggest dick, the most dick, whoever has the most money.
Or they look at nice guys definitely with a sense of pity as well. It's almost like, oh, it's so cute. Look at him trying so hard. He thinks this is actually impressing me. Look at him trying so hard to impress me. Why is he trying? It's almost like they're confused. They're like, why is he trying so hard to impress me? What have I done to deserve such effort? Even they are not confused about the amount of value they provide. Even they understand that they are ruined. Even they understand that their value has gone out the window. It went out the window with the first 100 guys they slept with. And I do mean 100.
God, it's so fucking painful. Even women in their dumb, small brains understand that they're ruined because they didn't fuck me. Even they understand with their primitive understanding of God and sensory perception can understand they're not worth the effort of a nice guy. Ugh. It's so gross.
Therefore, women are naturally going to have more options. It just makes it seem like that. That's why women's egos are through the roof. That's why the moment they don't get this attention, they go fucking nuts. Because it's been that way their entire lives. Don't be fooled. Even they understand that their value is gone. That's why they don't like guys treating them with appreciation. That's why they don't like guys treasuring them. Because they know they're not treasures.
This guy's definitely undergone a transformation. He's digivolved from nice guy to fucking creepy cult leader weird man who don't like women no more.
They know they're not worthy of that treatment, but they're in such denial. Women are masters of self-denial. They don't deny themselves anything. They'll take anything they can get. Women say men will fuck anything, and then be the anything that gets fucked.
This guy's heart has been broken many times. It's like the Grinch with Christmas. Just can't stand it now, huh? He just really can't even tolerate a woman from the sound of it. And I have to wonder, how does this all tie into the title, Women Are Not Real? Everything he's saying here still confirms their existence. I understand it's supposed to be like a clickbaity title, but I mean at least like relatively connect the two in some way.
It's so funny because for all the resentment towards men that ran through women have, they sure do seem to have sex with them all the time. They'll still take anything they can get. It's not like they turn down men's advances. It's not like,
oh, so it must be pretty easy to get laid if women aren't allowed to say no. Apparently, no woman has ever turned down a man's advances. Because then he goes on to say that they just fuck anything that moves. So, wow, I mean, I guess it's pretty fucking easy. You just gotta take that first step, like, hey, sex? And it should work out just fine.
They're able to make it seem like they're just victims and really the men are the perpetrators. Things are much more nuanced and complex than the vast majority of people will ever realize, much less admit to. But I don't want to ramble on for too long. I think I've spoken on this long enough.
He is right about one thing. He rambled on for way too fucking long. It was a chore to sit through this video. And to really add insult to injury, he uses an anime profile pic of Johann Liebert from Monster, which is a pretty good anime, and a pretty fitting profile pic for this guy, I think, because he strikes me as a psychopath. Like, the shit he says is so disconnected from reality, while trying his best to convince himself that he's the only one living in reality. His big bombshell point he makes at the end, which I completely cut out because it's too stupid, was women have more options than men. They can have more sex than men when they want to. That was like his big gotcha at the end, and treated it like it was some huge government secret. Such a fucking wild ride of a video. But yeah, anyway, that's about it. So yeah. I've stumbled across the creepiest dating coach the cyberspace has ever seen. He's like a Galactus-level threat to getting laid. Like, if you ever wanted to ensure every woman is frightened of you, follow his advice. But also, if you want to follow his advice, make sure you got your piggy bank ready to turn over, because you gotta pay for his course on it. This is his slogan: alpha dominance in dating, rise above the rest. And then if you scroll down on his homepage, it says, navigate the fog when it comes to women, it's time to level up. Now, I'm gonna show you all the videos he's been posting to try and drive sales to his Picking Up Women course, the steaming ham tutorial step-by-step guide. And he's pretty much exactly what you're picturing right now after reading It's Time to Level Up. He legitimately looks and speaks like a Redditor who's just reading off of old Ask Reddit pages from 12 years ago.
You do not have to accept her rejection.
You couldn't script a worse start to this lesson. You don't have to accept her rejection. Brother, that's like the #1 thing you should accept, not just with women, but with people in general. Nobody likes the pushy douchebag that refuses to take no for an answer. The guy's out here cosplaying as a car salesman, treating romance like it's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. No, I will not allow this to happen because I have this trap card. The conversation will continue whether you like it or not.
I'm a professional dating coach, and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Now, if you're one of the people that haven't applied anything in my course or my videos or anything like that, this video is not for you. This is an advanced technique.
This ain't your grandma's flirting no more. This ain't Weenie Hut Juniors. This is forbidden jutsu. While you were out partying, he was inside, studying the techniques, and he's bestowing upon us his sage wisdom with the advanced stuff. This is a man who has mastered the female mind, and he's sharing all of its secrets with us and telling us all the techniques to make it bend to our will.
You don't have to accept her rejection. Now, here's an example. I was talking to a girl, and she said, oh, you know, I'm not really interested. And I, instead of just going, okay, and then just turning away, I did this. Why would you not be interested in me? I'm the best.
It's genius! The chosen one! Lisan Al-Gaib! How could we have not thought of that technique? Whoa! Instead of just accepting when a girl isn't into you, you say, wait, but you should be. No, you! He's done it! He's cracked the code! His midichlorian count is beyond our comprehension. Behold, the patron saint of pussy has come! Yes! So instead of accepting a rejection, you keep pestering her about you being the best. If that's not the most cringe shit in the world, I don't know what is.
Absolutely the best. And she's like, oh, how? I'm like, well, you'd have to come over to my house to find out. And you'd also have to be okay with kink, and you'd also have to be okay with my mastery of the ropes and the fact I have multiple women. And actually, maybe not. Maybe you wouldn't be the best for me.
Yeah, fucking right, dweeb. She'd see through that lie so quickly. The only thing you're best at is top lane one-trick Teemo in your fucking anime club Discord group. No shot that would ever work in a real situation. If you said that to a living, breathing human being in the real world, she would be so immediately creeped out by you, she'd be running away, fucking screaming for help. Going up to a stranger who has just rejected you and then saying you're the best and the only way she'll find out how is if she comes over and has to be into kink and all of that. What fantasy are you living in? You're so fucking porn-brained if you think that would ever work on just a total stranger. It makes you sound like a serial killer, like she'd go over and it'd be a scene out of Dexter's early seasons, fucking plastic put up everywhere as you're about to dismember her. She'd have to be okay with your mastering of the ropes and your multiple women? A, saying multiple women in this context makes it sound like multiple victims more than anything, and B, I don't know who put this into the heads of some, like, really desperate men, but most women don't like to hear that you're fucking a ton of other women, too. Like, that's not really a turn-on or anything. I know that a lot of delusional dudes think it makes them seem more desirable to women, like, oh, it's okay if you tell me no, I have, like, 16 other women that will tell me yes. Your loss, I suppose. But it's not really, like, a flex or anything. It seems super weird. It is super weird.
She started going back and forth with me, and I started building attraction in that because now I had sidestepped her fucking rejection. Granted, keep in mind, I didn't force it. I didn't say, no, you're no. I just played into her little fucking game. I knew she was playing with me a little bit, or just kind of disengaging, and I gave her a little bit of fun. You want to know what I did with her later?
Of all of the things in the world that have never happened, that has never happened the most. That is the most didn't happen shit of all time. What a bunch of baloney. Actual horseradish on this story. Just a blatant lie trying to get dudes to buy into this fantasy that he's selling, to try and go to his website and give him money for the worst advice you'll ever hear. So, if you do go to his website and check out, like, why you should buy it, there's a nugget of wisdom in there that I can't help but share. But according to him and nobody else, he basically can't leave the house without having thousands of sodden panties tossed at him from women that are vying for his cock. So if you go to why you should purchase the course and what you get, he says, proven results, with over 100,000 Tinder matches in 2 years, which is an outrageous number. He's fucking entire cities worth of women. Like, your girlfriend has probably been with this guy. In fact, ask your mom right now if she cheated on your father with this guy. I bet if you walked up to any woman on the street right now and said his name, they'd have a Winter Soldier moment going through it. Now, I'm not saying his name because I'm not trying to have people, like, harass him, but I'm fighting a really strong urge to not mention his name because it's so fucking silly. His name is Alpha plus his name. It's actually kind of adorable. He calls himself the Alpha. But anyway, as well as a little over 1,000 women in his dating lifestyle and multiple women currently with him. So he's not in a monogamous relationship. A guy like this with 100,000 Tinder matches, he has entire harems with him at all times, slobbering on his cock. His cock is never in his pants, it's always in someone else's mouth or pussy. The methods are time-tested and proven not just by him, but also by his clients across multiple types of men. These methods just work. Don't settle for mediocrity in your dating life. Embrace the alpha mindset and unleash your true potential to attract the partners you desire. Cracking the alpha dating mind will equip you with skills, mindset, and charisma to become a dominant force in the dating world. Gain the confidence, magnetism, and success you deserve in every romantic pursuit. Invest in yourself. Unleash your alpha potential today. I mean, my credit card's already flying out of my wallet right now. I need to unlock my alpha potential.
Ask a girl, can I get your number? She said, no, I just got out of a relationship, and I don't know if I'm ready to date or whatever. And I handed her my phone and said, go ahead, type it in. It'll be fine.
Another story more fake than the Tooth Fairy here, but the way that he tells this story is haunting. I'm getting chills listening to it, like I feel threatened.
We can get Chardonnay, we can talk like girlfriends and talk about your old relationship with this guy. We're not going to do that, but it's going to be okay. Another example. Once again, not forcing it, not being super aggressive. She can say no again, which at that point I would have disengaged. But guess what she didn't do? Didn't say no. And that was the first time it happened. And then I did it again and again and again and again and again. And most of them ended up coming over my house, ended up sleeping with me. You just gotta know how to do it correctly.
I can see how he had 100,000 Tinder matches and has multiple women that he's with at all times. He is a smooth operator here. I admit I was skeptical at first, but after hearing this expertise, it's clear. There's not going to be any vagina left in the world for the rest of us men, now that he's out there on the prowl. Lord help us all.
Here's something I need you to do. I need you to enter the female mind for a second.
Oh, okay, yes sir. Oh man, he's delivering an order. Alright, I'll try and jack into the female mind real quick. Oh god, it's so scary in here! Alpha, pull me out! I don't know what I'm doing! I need your guidance! I'm
a professional dating coach and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Now, this will help you get more numbers because you gotta fucking understand how their mind works and what they go through every day. Imagine if every fucking day of your life you were approached for about 45 times, which is the number that I've come up with my extensive study.
Very scientific gathering methods, I'm sure. Yes, I've approximately calculated that every single woman is approached roughly 45.3, repeating, of course, times per day. Now, since you're in the female mind, since I've instructed you to do so, you'll recognize the mental burden that this takes on the female mind, of which I, your dating coach Alpha, have mastered.
Things like, why don't you give me yours, is a fucking thing that's going to weed out 95% of the spineless males that aren't persistent, that aren't fucking clever, that aren't witty, that can't have fun with her.
Yeah, those beta cucks. Not like Alpha here, who's so clever and witty he came up with the absolutely nefarious, diabolical even, genius method of saying, hey, I'm the best. Whoa, man, he's good, he's good. To give him more credit, there was more to it. I'm the best, and you can only find out by coming over and being okay with my mastery of the ropes, the blade, and be kinky. Also, give me your number so we can talk about your ex-boyfriend. Really good stuff. Like, actually very good stuff. I see why it's so effective now that I'm in the female mind.
And there's a reason she does it. Without being extremely forceful, sidestep it. Like I just said in the last 2 videos. You're welcome.
Disregard everything the woman wants. You do what you want, and you don't accept rejection. This guy's good. This guy's good. I see it now.
Let's talk about my nails. I'm a professional dating coach, and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Here's the thing. If you think this thing you learned in high school, or that, is the best way to get a girl to, oh my God, to an O, Jesus Christ.
Not even God could have mercy on your soul if you had that belief. Alpha's about to tear that shit down and blast your ass with real knowledge on how to get a girl to an O. And you can tell he's reliable because he's wearing his sunglasses and his leather jacket with the collar popped. So you know he just finished a threesome with 2 supermodels right before hopping in this car right now. And he's taking time out of his busy day of fucking mashing pissers with the hottest women on the planet to try and teach us barbarians how we can be even an iota of the man that Alpha is.
I can drag my fingers down a girl's back and cause one. If you don't know what a TO is, I can't go into, you'll should know them. TO and AO, Skino, especially a mental O. If you've never given a girl a mental O, gotta tell ya, you're a kiddie league. Stepping into the arena with the pros, and you have no idea what you're doing.
You disgusting coward. You're a 3rd-rate duelist with a 4th-rate deck. Yeah, you're in the junior leagues. You're not ready for the men's Thunderdome. If you don't know what a TO is, which he refuses to elaborate on and gets really hung up on, so it makes me wonder if he knows what it is. But if you don't know what that is, even if you're not familiar with this nomenclature, you're already fucked. If you've never given a girl a mental O, hoo-wee, you stink, brother. But yeah, so I was trying to like analyze these terms because I've never heard them before. So putting together context clues, I think a TO is a titty orgasm. I think an AO is an anal orgasm. Fucking, I've never heard these before. TO, AO, Cheerio, which is a breakfast cereal. Like, who uses those terms?
Guy, sorry. A little tip. Put a glove on with a long nail and rake. Not hard. You're welcome.
Now, this is going to come as a shock to all of you watching this, and you're probably not going to believe me, but it's the truth. Somehow, people on TikTok were making fun of this guy, so he responded to the haters.
So, I'm going to try to gain composure in this one. I've filmed this video way too many fucking times.
No, you didn't. That's an absolute lie. You're trying to put on a strong face because you're the alpha, but it's pretty clear the comments and what people are saying got to you, got under your skin, and you're making this as a strong response to it where you're laughing in their face. But the laugh is so unbelievably forced and fake, it's very clear. This shit looks like some kind of high school drama club audition laugh.
But I kind of want to show you guys. I kind of want to show you the elite level of hate that I'm dealing with. Oh, dude, look. I am literally, that's fucking real fucking cry laughing. Alright.
He just has a full-blown Joker meltdown. This app deserves a new class of dating coach, and I'm gonna give it to him. Yeah, that's kind of just the whole video response, where he's like, I can't believe all this hate. You guys are giving me fame. You playing right into the palm of my hands type shit. But anyway, you get the idea. Just another dog shit dating coach scam looking to capitalize off of people's insecurity and desperation to try and find a partner. Just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. See ya. A couple days ago, a video went viral on TikTok. It's a creepy guy leaving a disturbing voicemail to a woman where he basically hypes himself up as the perfect man, and the lady was truly lucky that he graced her with his presence. He's the ultimate fucking alpha male super masculine specimen, and he's taken time out of his busy day to send her a voicemail. And of course, this shit gets weird fast. He leaves multiple voicemails, and they get more and more aggressive and sinister. Now, I don't want to spoil anything, but there is an interesting story here, full of a lot of twists and turns. It's like fucking Fight Club, but for a shitty pickup artist.
Yeah, hi there, Olga. It's Dimitri. Sorry I had to leave such a rushed message with you when we met the other day. I just want to quickly give you my phone number, and I had to get the heck out of the area.
Meet Dimitri the lover. He's the reason your panties are sodden right now. Be honest, if you received this voicemail, would you be able to resist him? Nobody can. No one has that kind of willpower. You would have to fuck him on the spot. So suave. And he's truly an expert of his craft. He makes himself sound so dark and mysterious. I had to give you my number and then get out of there. I had to get the heck out of there ASAP. I had to get out of town, scram and skedaddle. Why? What was so urgent that you needed to flee? What was the rush? Were you being chased by Batman? I mean, he sounds exactly like the Joker in the Dark Knight trilogy, so maybe.
In any event, I figure I better leave you a more detailed message and explain why I approached you. I am single. I have no trouble meeting women. I mean, women approach me 6-7 times a day. But I'm very particular about what I like. You're extremely elegant.
If a guy tells you he has no problem meeting women, then he has no problem meeting women. That guy is slaying pussy left and right. Dude probably has a threesome waiting for him at home, and you are lucky that he stepped away from that in order to talk to you. Spoken like a real alpha male here. No doubt this man's getting approached 6 to 7 times a day. No doubt in my fucking mind. That's probably on the low end. That's probably like during the off season. But I bet when spring break rolls around, maybe even St. Patrick's Day, he's getting upwards of 20 offers for sex.
I couldn't take my eyes off of you, and your friends were very jealous. Even if they say they weren't, they were envious at the fact that I approached you, and I was very taken by you. Elegant women are very rare. I'm Greek, and I'm very particular about what I like. So I'm giving you an opportunity here.
Sounds like he's about to pitch an NFT scam to her. It's like he's trying to sell her on some kind of multi-level marketing scheme. This dude talks like an anime villain who's explaining his plan to the protagonist. He's just so fucking weird. It sounds like Die Hard 3 every time Bruce Willis would pick up the payphone to talk to the terrorist. It's just so, like, unnerving listening to this guy talk. And then, of course, he goes into, your friends were jealous. Did you know that? I saw it in their eyes. They were so fucking envious of you when I approached you. They might say they weren't jealous, but that's just them lying. That's how you know they were actually really jealous. And you know what? You watching right now, if you want to make your friends jealous, get on the wait list for the new G Fuel flavor. Finally have a custom flavor, Divine Peach. It's peach plus kiwi plus dragon fruit. For billions of years, the universe has been building and evolving. And now we finally reach the apotheosis of creation. Divine Peach, a new flavor from G Fuel. An exquisite concoction sent straight from heaven, made by the angels. Join the waitlist at gfuel.com. The link to join is in the description below.
I don't know if you pick up the messages on the weekend, but I'm working on a movie script, so I'm pretty much around all weekend doing that. I left you my number, 416-9184. This looks like a landline, and if it is, you may not get the message till Monday. But when you do, call me, and then we'll get together for coffee and chat and let the romance begin.
What a great way to kick off a relationship. Let the romance begin. That's such a bold statement. It immediately lets the person know, I am here with romantic intent. and it's time to commence. Let the pussy flow, please. Can you, where's your vagina? This is where the romance starts. Come on. Didn't you hear? I said let the romance begin. I think it's extremely effective. He's reinventing the relationship meta here. No guesswork anymore. Once they say let the romance begin, well then that shit better start. It's so fucking good. It's like a terribly written line in an old video game. Like some Resident Evil 2 shit. I would also love to read that movie script he said he was working on. I bet it was an actual masterpiece up there with The Room and Citizens Kane. But unfortunately, I think we all know he wasn't actually working on a movie script. He just said that to seem interesting and cool and unique. He was most likely just sitting in a dark room in his shit-stained underwear after hyping himself up in his bathroom mirror for over an hour, working up the courage to finally call the woman who made a grave mistake of giving her phone number to this psychopath.
You look very taken aback by my approach, and I hope that isn't timidness. I hope it was just a little bit of shock at being approached so directly, because I don't really date timid women, because I'm a very direct, very passionate, very assertive man, and I want a woman who's very independent and strong. So anyway, we'll talk about that, but I just wanted to formally introduce myself. Now I have. I leave the ball in your court. You call me as soon as you have the courage to. Okay, Olga? Talk to you soon. Bye.
This is a man who can date any woman in the world, and he's chosen her. How can you be so lucky? Some people win the lottery, some people win Dimitri, and you could argue that they're both about equal in terms of how lucky the person was. So, let me go ahead and reveal the big twist here. This is all genuine, this is real, it's not fake, it's not staged. But the twist is, this is not happening currently. This is about 10 years old, I think it's like 9 or 10 years old, and it comes from a pickup artist named James Sears, who also went by Dimitri the Lover when he was in the pickup artist game. He had his own little alias as Dimitri the Lover, and this was one of the voice messages he left to someone named Olga. That is not the lady in the TikTok here, and she's not trying to, like, deceive people or hide it. She, in another TikTok video after this, clarifies, like, hey, look, I'm not Olga. This is actually just an old sound clip from Dimitri the Lover, who actually sent this to someone named Olga. Now, James Sears, Dimitri the Lover, is in jail now. The most shocking thing I'm sure you've heard all day. I'm as surprised as you are. He was arrested for a bunch of hate speech related things and then rearrested after breaching parole. Now, I'm sure you all have a picture of what this guy looks like in your head right now, and I'm about to show you what he actually looks like, and I bet a huge amount of you are very close to what he looks like in the real world. He looks exactly like what you expect. Almost exactly like what I have pictured when I first heard this. So here he is. It's fucking wild, huh? He looks exactly like the caricature of a bad, goofy, creepy pickup artist would look.
Hi there, Olga. It's Dimitri calling again, the guy from the street. I left you a message several days ago. You said you were interested. Now, here's the way I work. I don't like leaving second messages, but I like you. You're a very elegant woman. You're very attractive. But, you know, I don't play that game. I know your friends tell you not to return calls. You're playing games like you see on stupid TV shows. So here's how it's going to work.
You just made Dimitri leave a second voicemail. God help you. Your soul is in jeopardy now. Dimitri doesn't like to leave 2 voicemails. In fact, the last time Dimitri left 2 voicemails, he cried. You gonna make him cry again? Dimitri doesn't like to cry. You can hear him starting to get angry. He starts saying, this is how it's gonna go. So we're getting to experience in real time the transformation of a nice guy into a bad boy.
It is now 4:30 on Wednesday. Now I'll assume that you've already left work, because, you know, some people leave early, and I'll grant you that. But if I do not receive a phone call back from you by 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon, I'm no longer interested, and you can erase my number. I don't play games like that. I'm completely single. I'm very intelligent.
Hey, listen, Dimitri, you don't have to tell us that you're intelligent. We all get that impression here. Just listening to you, I think we can all recognize that your IQ is at least 5 figures. Like, that shit is huge. That is a galaxy brain you're working with.
I'm great in bed. I make great money. Believe it or not, I'm a complete catch. I've only been single 4 months. I had a long-distance relationship. You know, went a year. It's very tough to maintain it like that, and it didn't work out. There's nothing wrong.
Undoubtedly, he is the complete package. This truly is a huge catch here for Olga. I can't believe the long-distance relationship didn't work out. I bet this guy was doing everything he could to make it work. But it is difficult to keep that going when the long-distance relationship is Dimensions with that 2D waifu kind of shit. But, you know, I'm sure he had a good time and it was mutual. And now Olga had a chance, but she blew it. You know, she didn't call back in a timely fashion, and Dimitri had to leave 2 voicemails, and from there the whole ass was blown off of this operation here, and there was no salvaging the relationship. They could have been a great couple. They could have been married by now. And this is where the TikTok video ends, but the legend of Dimitri the Lover doesn't stop there. There's actually still quite a bit from Dimitri the Lover, but I won't get into it today because there's a lot. He was kind of popular on the internet as a punching bag. I was vaguely familiar of him like 10 years ago or something. I knew the name at least a little bit. So there is more, but we won't go over it today. Maybe at some point we'll go through more of his voicemails and shit that he used to do, but for now, that's about it. See ya.